Yeah, yeah, yeah. Count me out, go and say whatever you want. Go, yeah. But you know we gotta keep the thing going. You know it, you know it. We be on the road. Everybody knows we doing alright. Yeah, we on the road. Everybody knows. Now tell me you know it,
You sisters doing the Sabbath, that don't sound good to me. Sound depressed. Brothers, how y'all doing?
Good.
See that, sisters? Brothers got too much work to be depressed. I was reading something, they said although men do get depressed, we don't suffer from it the way women do because we're always occupied, paying bills, taking care of the family, running around, surviving, you know. So now we sent the prayer for everybody I named in the prayer does not speak evil against us. So I want y'all to understand that. But I did want to include them for blessings. So the ones brothers and sisters online just understand that. And I did have a message for all Israel that we should always remember who is texting me? Never criticize men who's on your side overall. Never criticize men who went to war because you were too afraid to get up and go to war. And this is because of the thing that occurred at the Barclay event. There must have been about 36 videos criticized from Israelites, not even from the white man, but from fellow Israelites. And I'm like, yo, you can't make this stuff up. You too afraid to go out there and stand up for righteousness. We go out there and you condemn us as the devil the Bible speaks of. People call us to do interviews. You do a show behind us to condemn us as being the devil. Are we all trying to get to the kingdom?
Yes,
We all trying to get to the same place, and you have this is why white people don't worry about Israel. They said, look at it, these guys are marginalized, disenfranchised. Yeah. They hate one another. What'd you say? Divided. So white man really he ain't worried about Israelites. But he says, but there's this one group, that purple and gold group. It seemed like they got their head on right. They're the ones that we really need to take a look at. And I told you that years ago when, quote unquote, Sergeant Jack said of all the camps, he said that group right there, that's the one to keep your eye on. The rest of them, all they do is talk about each other. He's gay.
Yeah.
She's gay. She's a lesbian. He's a homosexual. I think he was molested. What the hell? Every week. And if your conversation is me, every week I have become your idol.
That's true.
I've become your God, brother. What the hell is wrong with you? Who raised you? If you got a wife or wives, as you call them, wives, then why am I your conversation? Why am I your number one? What the hell is going on? Eat some breakfast first. The hell is wrong with you? Yeah. I pray for brothers. That's why I'm looking at the scriptures, because you first you get annoyed, and the Lord was like, look at Matthew 5. Christ said, look, pray for them.
Yeah, because the key, Bishop, they want us to get in their level. We can never get in wicked brothers' levels because the Lord brought us in the front for a reason. Exactly. So we're going to use exactly what the scripture said. You understand? Then let the Lord deal with the rest. But as for us, we see you. Shalom, brother. Keep it moving.
Exactly. That's it right there. So today's topic is sealed by God or marked by man. Write that down. Sealed by God or marked by man. I heard a brother tell me, I said, where's your notes? He said, I'll put notes in my Bible. You know, some classes have like 99 scriptures. You don't put 99. I'm talking about that guy over there. You don't put 99 verses in your Bible. That's a lie. You ain't pulling the wool over on me. Bishop, can I tell you, I might look stupid. I might even act stupid once in a while, but I'm far from it.
Far away, Bishop.
Far away from it. Now, you should check the women's notebooks, but a lot of them got husbands, so that's your job. Check your wife's notebook. If your wife ain't got no notes, she's a dummy, and she don't believe. I'm just letting you brothers know. Let's open up with the seal of God. Write this down, seal of God. And give me Ezekiel chapter 9. Who's reading for me?
Officer Solomon, sir.
All right. Ezekiel chapter 9. And we're going to start at let me see if I want verse 4. Ezekiel chapter 9. And just start at verse 4.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 9 and verse 4. And the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
So set a mark upon all the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations. In order to know what the abominations are, you have to be studying the Most High's law. If all you are occupied in is prophecy, I know a lot of you like prophecy, and we all like prophecy. Don't get me wrong. We like the history too. Don't get me wrong. Walking with the giants, but you got to know God's law. You got to know his law. Read it again.
And the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
So in order to know the abominations, you have to be studying, praying, and applying God's law. Because little do you know, you may be guilty of some of the abominations that are written in the Bible, in the laws of God. So you got to know God's law for him to seal you, to put that mark of protection upon you. Read it one more again, please.
And the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city.
Now the him is an angel. The him there is an angel. This angel was pushing the hosts of Babylon, the Babylonian forces, to come against Jerusalem, to smite us. That's what was going on here in Ezekiel 9. Go ahead.
Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
What's in your forehead, brothers? What's in your forehead? Your mind. It's saying put a mark in your mind. Go ahead, read on.
And to the others he said in mine hearing.
So to the others that don't have the mark in their mind, go ahead.
Go ye after him through the city, and smite.
The word smite there means kill. Kill. Those that don't have my mark, kill them. So this is what the angels pushed forth, and the Babylonians went throughout Jerusalem just killing Israelites. Go ahead.
Let not your eyes spare.
Don't let your eyes spare. Come on.
Neither have ye pity.
Don't have no pity. Come on.
Slay utterly old and young.
I don't care how young they are. I don't care how old they are. Kill them. Go ahead.
Both maids and little children.
Both maids and little children. So sisters, understand, you are not exempt from this. God don't care how small your waist is, how perky your breastises are. You getting killed just like the rest of us. Go ahead.
And women.
And women. That's what he's saying. Don't have no mercy on women either. Go ahead.
But-
Because a lot, for some reason, some sisters think they can do evil, and God's gonna give them a pass because they're a woman. That's not. You're reading the wrong Bible. I don't know what book you're reading, sister. That's not biblical. You gonna get killed just like the man. Go ahead.
But come not near any man upon whom is the mark.
Anybody that got that mark, we're gonna get to the mark in a moment. Go ahead.
And begin at my sanctuary.
And begin at my sanctuary. That's us, the Israelites. So he started with the ancient men, those in the temple. He said, start there. Why? Because you get a heavier judgment the more you know. To whom much is given, what? Right. So that's different than a brother, sister who's thought tropping on the street. They don't know nothing. But to the sisters and the brothers, they know the scriptures, but they on TikTok anyway. She's showing her perky breastises. She's shaking it like it's hot. She's making it, I don't know how to express, make it, drop it like it's hot. I don't know how to express it. God says, kill her. Start with her. Start with him. He know the scriptures. They be in every Sabbath. Look, they got fringes in the border blue. Smite them. That's what the Lord says. I want that done, he says. Give me 1 Peter 4:17. This is what I said in the prayer also. 1 Peter 4:17.
This is the book of 1 Peter, chapter 4 and verse 17. For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of God.
See what's going to begin? At the house of God. Those men and women who understand the scriptures. That's why, like Bishop Yawasop said it in his class, he said, them brothers and sisters that ran up out of here cursing us in 2018, they going to get a heavy judgment. Why? Because they know the scriptures. They know the scriptures. They're going to get a harsh judgment. Read that again.
For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of God.
Now we know there's no temple today. So what does it mean, the house of God? Those Israelites that know the scriptures, you're the house of God. Even you loner Israelites, you're going to get it too. Go ahead.
And if it first begin at us,
Go ahead.
what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of God?
What shall the end be of them that don't obey the gospel of God? Give me Revelation 7:4, please.
Revelation chapter 7 and verse 4. And I heard the number of them which were sealed.
This seal is the same mark that you read about in Ezekiel 9. If I'm going too fast, y'all let me know. Go ahead.
And there were sealed 144,000.
Now, these are the elect leaders. I'm going to say it again. These are the elect leaders of Israel. Read it again.
And I heard the number of them which were sealed. And they were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel.
Go ahead.
Of the tribe of Judah were sealed 12,000.
Now, some people believe that. I saw some Christian commentary that said only 144,000. I think it was Jehovah's Witness said that. That's the only ones that's going to be saved. No, these are the leaders of the Israelites that's being sealed in their leadership positions. Go ahead.
Of the tribe of Reuben was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Gad was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Asher was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Naphtali was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Manasseh was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Simeon was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Levi was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Issachar was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Zebulun was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Joseph was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Benjamin was sealed 12,000.
You know what's funny about this? How can they be sealed if we don't know who in the hell they are, where they're located? We have to have some kind of inkling in these last days to know who these tribes are or where they're located. This is why a lot of people, they don't go on the street because I don't know who they are. I don't know, because you don't know don't mean that we don't know. Okay? We're not saying that we know Israel's scattered in all nations and all. Like I said, give me that Deuteronomy 28:64 real quick. We're coming back here. I just want to put this out there. We're just going to put this out here. They think that we teach, listen good to what some Israelites believe. They believe that we teach the only Israelites are those located in North, Central, and South America. That's not what we teach. Are you kidding me? We know that those are the tribes. And guess what? We know. Read it.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people.
Do y'all hear that? Among all people. Go ahead.
From the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known.
Let me show y'all something. IT, who's on I-Team today? Please don't mess me up. I want y'all to go to Google. Let me talk slow. There's a movie on Netflix called Little White Lies. Actually, I want you to go to YouTube. There should be a trailer for it. Little White Lies. There should be a video. I'm going to show you how deep Deuteronomy 28:64 is. Little White Lies. Let me see. Yep, that's it right there. This is how deep Deuteronomy 28:64 goes. This is a short clip, right? Yeah. We want volume, please. We want volume. I want y'all to pay attention. Come on. Oh, they're putting a disclaimer. That's what takes so long? Okay, thank you, Abby. I appreciate you. All praises. Oh, we're going to get, since I got time, we're going to get on Simeon. Y'all be doing Levi wrong, bro. Y'all chopping them up. We know they eating some of y'all babies, but don't worry about that. I'm sorry, love. I'm sorry. We got it, IT? All right, watch this. This is Deuteronomy 28:64 for real, though.
I come from a long line of New York Jews. I grew up in a world with synagogue, Hebrew school, bar mitzvahs. So it never occurred to me that I was passing. I wasn't pretending to be something I wasn't. I actually grew up believing I was white.
Show us how you can stand on your side. Oh, that's terrific. How do you do that?
We lived almost picture-perfect kind of life for a while. So when Lacey decided she was going to tell the story, I was a little nervous about it.
If you look too closely at it, it didn't make any sense. So we found ways to see what we wanted to believe.
I always looked at you like you looked black. To me, you're just like a Jewish kid who, I don't know.
White people will think anything. Crazy things. I'll know white people for a long time.
Today's the day. We did it.
It really is the power of denial. How the hell did anybody sort of not acknowledge this?
It just seems like the 600-pound gorilla in the room to kind of just refuse to see it.
Okay, we gonna cut it right there. So her Edomite mother had an affair with a black man, and she grew up thinking she was so-called Jewish. Then her mom reveals it to her, and your dad is really black. Right, Miss Sugar, gefilte fish. What the hell's going on here? And I tell you, I don't know if I want to say too much. Going through Crown Heights, there's a large Jewish community over there, and they was getting robbed and beat up. And a lot of the black cops go over there. Anyway, I'll just end it there. And where was we at, Solomon?
Deuteronomy 28.
Anyway, my point is, some of the ones that think they white, they're not white, because their daddy is a nigga. I'm sorry to say it, but that's true what it is. Or Puerto Rican. I've been seeing a lot of stuff, and them babies that come up high yellow, they were like, it's kind of brown looking. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir. There's another documentary that shows the Hasids. They live like a double life.
Yes.
They'll change garments.
Yep.
And live a different life from what they live in the community.
Exactly. A lot of them be homos too. Down in do I want to tell that story? Yes. Okay, I'll tell us the story time. I'll tell a story. Me and my partners, we were down. Where's this? What's FDR Drive? FDR Drive. Y'all been to FDR Drive? You been out? There's a little park there. Park. So he goes in the bathroom, and a lot of has seen him run out of the bathroom. So what the hell's going on? We just see him run out like 20, like rats. He said, yo, they was in there all having sex. So what the hell? They live double lives. Double lives. I'll say no more. Unless I get a bomb threat. Where was we at, Solomon?
Deuteronomy 28:64.
Yeah, read that again for me. I got to limit my stories. Go ahead, read that.
And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people.
When he says all people, he mean that thing. Ain't no exceptions. Like we go, except Amalek, there's no Israelites among them. I just showed you they are. That's just one case. Go ahead.
From the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
Right, even wood and stone. So, give me, where was that? Go back to Revelation 7 and 4.
Revelation chapter 7 and verse 4. And I heard the number of them which was sealed. And they were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel.
Give me Isaiah 8 and 16 to explain that seal, which is the same mark in Ezekiel 9, verse 4. Dangerous times are coming, brothers and sisters. Dangerous times are coming. We got to make sure that those of us, we pray to the Lord that he seal us. All right, read that.
Isaiah chapter 8 and verse 16. Bind up the testimony.
Bind up the testimony.
Seal the law.
Seal what?
The law.
It just say history in prophecy.
Seal the law.
Uh-huh.
Among my disciples.
Seal the law among my disciples. That's what the Lord is looking for. I want y'all to understand that. He wants us to know the law. Okay, we got to know it. Again, prophecy is good. History is excellent. I'm not saying don't read that. It's good. But we got to know what caused us to go into slavery, brothers. Where we break? The law. That's what we messed up on. Give me 2nd Ezra 2:38. This precepts with, write this down, this precepts with Revelation 7, 4 through 8. Here's a precept.
Second Ezra chapter 2 and verse 38.
Mhm.
Arise up and stand. Behold, the number of those that be sealed in the feast of the Lord.
So those that were sealed in the feast of the Lord is the same 144,000 that we just read about in Revelation 7, 4 down to 8. Go ahead.
Which are departed from the shadow of the world, and have received glorious garments of the Lord.
Come on.
Take thy number, O Sion, and shut up those of thine that are clothed in white, which have fulfilled the law of the Lord.
Do y'all see that? Which have fulfilled the law of the Lord. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give y'all a story. Back in the old school, the original, One West School, the original, Priest Ariel would be blasting with prophecies. I know y'all seen it. He'd be going to Daniel 7, and the crowd would be huge. Marshall would come up behind him and start going through the law. Love thy neighbors, you love yourself. You see the crowd just start walking away. Our people don't want law. We want to hear the white man's the devil. We want to hear what's going to happen, but we don't want to hear that law. That's our problem. Read again.
Yeah, because Bishop, that's the only thing that can show you yourself. That's why our people despise it, because they want to live double life.
Right.
So the law able to reveal to you who you really is.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. What verse you at?
We finished 40.
Go ahead.
The number of thy children whom thou longest for is
the number of thy children whom thou longest for. So the world is this goes with Romans 8. I ain't gonna get it, but if y'all know what I'm talking about, it says all creation waited for the manifestation of the sons of God. That goes, read it again, Solomon.
The number of thy children whom thou longest for is fulfilled. Beseech the power of the Lord, that thy people, which have been called from the beginning.
Notice that, which have been called from when?
The beginning.
From Genesis. That's heavy right there. He's saying a lot. A lot of times we think we were called now. No, the Lord called one of us from the very beginning. In the time of creation, when our spirits were created, he said, I'm going to call you, I'm going to call you, I'm going to call you, I'm going to call you. It was already chosen, already picked who was going to be called. Everybody understand that? Read.
Which have been called from the beginning may be hallowed.
From there, go back to Revelation 7 and 9 now. Read 8 and then 9.
Revelation chapter 7 and verse 8.
Uh-huh.
Of the tribe of Zabulon was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Joseph was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Benjamin was sealed 12,000. Mm-hmm. After this I beheld.
Now what? Y'all pay close attention to this verse. This is the verse Christians use to say everybody's going to be saved. Read.
And lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands.
So who is this great multitude which no man could measure or number? Go back to 2 Ezra 2 now. Read 41 and 42.
2 Ezra chapter 2 verse 41. The number of thy children whom thou longest for is fulfilled. Beseech the power of the Lord, that thy people, which have been called from the beginning, may be hallowed.
Now here's verse 9. With this verse here, verse 42 is going to precept with Revelation 7, verse 9.
I, Ezra, saw upon the Mount Sion a great people, whom I could not number, and they all praised the Lord with songs.
That's the same great multitude that John the Revelator prophesied about. Y'all understand that? From there, give me, just give me a few. I want them quick, Solomon. Give me Hosea 1:10. Y'all know the general ones. Always hit them ones to prove it. Okay, but never let them hem you up out there. I'm talking to you brothers that's up and coming teachers. Okay.
This is the book of Hosea, chapter 1 and verse 10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea.
Can you count the sand of the sea? No. Go ahead.
Which cannot be measured
Which
nor
can't
numbered.
be measured nor numbered.
And it shall come to pass that in a place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people.
The way they said we're not God's people, they gave us Gentile names. You're African American, you're Puerto Rican, you're Dominican, you're Haitian. You're not God's people. Go ahead.
There it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God.
Give me Acts 2 and 5. All this goes back to Deuteronomy 28:64 too. Go ahead.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 2 and verse 5. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men out of every nation under heaven.
So the Jews came out of every nation under heaven. Read down.
Now, when this was noised abroad, the multitude came together and were confounded, because that every man heard them speak in his own language. And they were all amazed and marveled, saying one to another, Behold, are not all these which speak Galileans?
Aren't these men that speak Galileans, meaning they only speak Hebrew, one language? How are they speaking these different dialects? Go ahead.
And how hear we every man in our own tongue, wherein we were born?
Wherein we were born. They was born in these other countries. These, remember, they're Jews. These are Israelites. Go ahead.
Parthians and Medes.
Wait. Parthian, that's Iran. Go ahead.
And Medes.
That's Iran also.
And Elamites.
Elamite, that's India, Pakistan. India and Pakistan. Go ahead.
And the dwellers in Mesopotamia.
That's Iraq. Go ahead.
And in Judea.
Did you read Cappadocia?
Not yet, sir.
Oh, go ahead.
And Cappadocia.
That's Turkey. Write that down. Cappadocia is Turkey. Come on.
And Pontus.
Pontus is also Turkey near the Black Sea. Go ahead.
And Asia.
That's Asia Minor. That's those regions that Paul went to. Go ahead.
Phrygia.
That's Turkey.
And Pamphylia.
That's also in Turkey.
In Egypt.
Egypt, that's Africa.
And then the parts of Libya about Cyrene.
That's North Africa. Go ahead.
And strangers of Rome.
Strangers of Rome.
Jews and proselytes.
Proselytes means converts. Go ahead. And when it says converts, it means those Israelites that converted back from Greek idolatry to the law of Moses. So they did not hear about the resurrection of Christ yet. They knew about Moses. Everybody with me so far? Go ahead. Crete, that's Greek islands.
And Arabians. We do hear them speak in our tongues the wonderful works of God.
All right. Give me Hebrews 8 and 10. This is a prophecy.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 8 and verse 10. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel.
Now listen to this covenant that he will make with the house of Israel.
After those days, saith the Lord, I will put my laws into their mind.
See that? I will put my laws into their mind. Go ahead.
And write them in their hearts.
And write them in their hearts.
And I will be to them a God, and they shall be to me a people. And they shall not teach every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, Know the Lord, for all shall know me, from the least to the greatest.
Right. Here's the precept for that. Give me Isaiah 54 and 13. So when he says he'll write them in our hearts and in our mind, meaning it's going to be a habit, our first nature. Everybody understand? It's not like now we got to study and consciously apply the Lord. We don't really think we need fringes to remind us. No. And Paul was saying in this day, it's going to be in us naturally, like in us naturally right now to sin. Right now, there's one of you or some of us thinking something evil that we shouldn't be thinking. You see how natural that's normal. You know, you ever see a kid, you give them a toy and then you take their toy from them, don't they get mad? Mine! And they don't like to share. They don't share. Why? Because that evil spirit is, that's why I said, in sin did my mother what? Conceive me. That sin nature is in us from birth. So Paul in Hebrews 8 and 10 says we're going to be changed. Where you at, Solomon?
Isaiah chapter 54 and verse 13.
Go ahead.
And all thy children shall be taught of the Lord, and great shall be the peace of thy children.
Right. We're going to be taught of the Lord. Because in the wilderness, he's going, when he changes us, he's going to teach us. Okay. It ain't going to be no if, ands, what if, buts, or that. It's going to be his way or the highway. Okay. So we understand the seal of God, right? Everybody got that, right? From there, let's talk about the mark of the beast. Let's talk about that. Give me Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 18. We got to start there.
This is the book.
And be mindful. Be mindful. Hey, Solomon, give me 1 Corinthians. This is a sidebar. This ain't even in my notes. 1 Corinthians 13, where it says about Lava, what does it say? It says something like we know in part, something like that. Let me look at it.
Yes, sir. Verse 9.
Okay, read that for me.
1 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 9. For we know in part,
We know in part,
and we prophesy in part.
and we prophesy in part. Go ahead.
But when that which is perfect is come,
That's Christ.
then that which is in part shall be done away.
He's going to teach us everything. Be mindful of brothers today that say they have 100% truth. They know everything. You better head for the hills. You hear people talk like that. Run. That's why the angel asked Ezra, oh, you think you know something. What's the weight of a flame? Duh. You don't know nothing. Shut the hell up. Where's the origin of wind? Where does it come from? I don't know. Where's the fountain of the rivers? Where the ocean? Where does the streams come from? I don't know. The angel said, I'm asking you earthly things, and you can't answer me. Be mindful when men say they know everything. They're the bottom of the barrel. I love our brothers. Believe me, I do, and I pray for them daily. But there's danger, like what they say, danger, Will Robinson, danger. Y'all old heads should know what I'm talking about. Lost in space. You don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, then even though the thought is arrogant,
You have TV in Santo Domingo?
their thought alone, Bishop, is arrogant.
I know they
Yeah,
don't
it's
have
very
socks.
prideful.
Exactly. Where we at, Solomon?
You want to go back to Ecclesiastes or finish this?
Ecclesiastes 3:18.
Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 18. I said in mine heart concerning the estate of the sons of men,
The state of the sons of men.
that God might manifest them, and that they might see that they themselves are beasts.
That they themselves are beasts. This is why we got to read the entire Bible. If you, like in church growing up, they say, oh, just read the New Testament. But then you'll get to something like the beast, and you think a dragon is coming. Ah! No, it's talking about men. It's talking about, that's what we tell you, brothers and sisters, read your 4 chapters a day. Within a year's time, you have finished the entire Bible. Then you know what you do? Start again. Start again. Because there will be things you didn't see before. The Lord will open your eyes. Give me that in Psalms 1. Just sidebar, I'm just popping off the head. Psalms 119 about open thou mine eyes. You know what I'm talking about, Solomon?
Yes, sir.
Open thou mine eyes that I may behold wondrous things in thy law. Nobody know what I'm talking about? Open.
Verse 18.
18? Okay, got it.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 119 and verse 18.
Mm-hmm.
Open thou mine eyes, that I may behold wondrous things out of thy law.
You see that? Open thou mine eyes. That's what we pray for. When you read the Bible, start with that prayer right there. And ask the Lord to show you. Okay? And guess what? When you finish the Bible, start again, and you're going to see things you didn't see before. I've read the Bible over 10 times. There's still things I'll be like, you know how many times I've read this? I never saw that before. It happens all the time. So where we at, Solomon? Did you finish that?
Yes, sir.
From there, give me Revelation 1. Go to chapter 1. I want you to write this down. The word sin, S-I-N, which means breaking God's law, is only mentioned 3 times in the book of Revelation. It's only mentioned 3 times. Revelation 1 and 5, please.
Revelation chapter 1 and verse 5. And from Jesus Christ, who is the faithful witness and the first begotten of the dead, and the prince of the kings of the earth, unto him that loved us and washed us from our sins in his own blood.
And washed us from our sins. So that's the first one. Now give me chapter 18 of Revelation, verse 4 and 5.
Revelation chapter 18 and verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins.
So when it says, come out of her, my people, it's talking to the Israelites. Hold that, Solomon, you know what I want? Matthew 2 and 6. I want a precept for my people. Because Christians read that and go, see, it's talking about the church. That's talking about the Israelites. The Israelites are the church of the Bible. There's no such thing in the Bible as a Lutheran church, a Baptist church, a Mormon church, a Jehovah Wickedness church, a Seventh-day Disadvantaged church. That ain't in there. Read that.
Matthew chapter 2 and verse 6. And thou, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, art not the least among the princes of Judah. For out of thee shall come a governor that shall rule my people Israel.
My people Israel. My people Israel. Everybody's not the people of the Lord. Go back to where you was at. Revelation 18, 4 and 5.
Revelation chapter 18 and verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven.
You see that? That you be not partakers of her sins. Then it says that for her sins have reached unto heaven. That's the second and the third time. Now, did you finish the verse?
No, sir. And God hath remembered her iniquities.
Was that?
That's it.
Okay. So those are the 3 times the word sin is recorded in the book of Revelation. Well, where's it at? Is there any other places? Yeah. But it's not called sin. Watch this. Hosea 12:10. Hosea 12:10, I believe it is.
This is the book of Hosea, chapter 12 and verse 10. I have also spoken by the prophets, and I have multiplied visions, and used similitudes.
Y'all see that part right there? And use similitudes. Many times the Lord, instead of saying certain, he'll use a similitude which alludes to sin, but you got to be in the spirit to figure out he's talking about sin here. Did you finish that verse 10?
No, sir. By the ministry of the prophets.
By the ministry of the prophets. Colossians 2:8.
This is the book of Colossians, chapter 2 and verse 8. Beware lest any man spoil you.
Beware lest any man spoil you. Spoil you means corrupt you. Go ahead.
Through philosophy.
Through philosophy.
And vain deceit.
And vain deceit.
After the tradition of men.
After the tradition of men. In this time, we're corrupted by the tradition of the white man. That's who we're corrupted by. Go ahead.
After the rudiments of the world.
After the rudiments of the world, the elements of the world.
And not after Christ.
So to sum that verse up in one word, it's talking about what? Sin. But he didn't use the word. You got to be in the spirit to go, he's talking about sin. But he uses different words. Okay, from there. Give me Ecclesiastes 1:9. It's a very important verse.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1 and verse 9. The thing that hath been.
Pay very close attention. The thing that hath been.
It is that which shall be.
Is that which shall be. So about spirits right there. Go ahead.
And that which is done.
And that which is done on the earth. For example, whether you keep the commandments or don't keep the commandments. That's what it's talking about. Go ahead.
And that which is done is that which shall be done.
Uh-huh.
And there is no new thing under the sun.
There's no new thing under the sun. See, a lot of times I hear brothers break that down, and the question will be, but things like space travel, that's new. That ain't talking about space travel. That's talking about man and whether you keep God's law or you don't keep God's law. Watch this, pay very close attention. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 27. Now, Ecclesiastes 1:9, before you read it, Solomon, I want y'all to understand this. What we just read in Ecclesiastes 1:9, Solomon, king of Israel, prophet of God, they called him the preacher. He said, what was done is that which shall be done. So you'll be reading in the book of Revelation, being all confused. What is this talking about? Start with Genesis. Then it'll give you a clue as to what Revelation is saying. Because the thing that has been is that which shall be. The thing that has been done is that which shall be done. But if you don't have that understanding, you're looking for some new thing in the earth that's never been. It's just the same stuff. It might be on another technological advancement, but it's the same thing. Whether you keep God's law or you break God's law, it's all talking about the same thing. Where you at, Solomon?
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 and verse 27. For the worshiping of idols.
For the worshiping of idols.
Not to be named is the beginning.
Is the beginning.
The cause.
The cause.
And the end.
And the what?
The end.
And the what?
The end.
And the end.
Of all evil.
Now that goes with Ecclesiastes 1:9. That's Solomon's wisdom telling us thing. So he says the thing that which has been is that which shall be. That which was done is that which shall be done. Now here he tells us idolatry was the beginning sin. Idolatry will be the end sin. So it's not that hard. You trying to figure, I wonder what this is talking about. The prophets use similitudes. Everybody with me so far? Now let's start with Genesis chapter 4, verse 1, please.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 4 and verse 1. And Adam knew Eve his wife, and she conceived, and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. And she again bare his brother Abel. And Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. And in process of time it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord. And Abel he also brought of the firstlings of his flock and of the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering.
So now, this was the beginning of animal sacrifice. I'm going to say it again. This was the beginning of animal sacrifice. Where did they learn that from? Jump back up. Now, we've gone over this before. Chapter 3 and coats of skin. Where's that at?
Verse 21.
Thank you.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 3 and verse 21. Unto Adam also and to his wife did the Lord God make coats of skins and clothe them.
Now, you'll read that. And this is a similitude. That's why I went to Hosea 12 and 10. You read that and go, Adam and Eve was butt naked. God had to give them clothes. That ain't talking about that. This is a similitude about animal sacrifice. They had to sacrifice. Why? Because Adam and Eve did what? Sinned. So now they obviously taught their children. So now we're here in chapter 4 and read 3 and 4 again.
Verse 3. And in process of time it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord.
He brought fruits and vegetables. Go ahead.
And Abel he also brought of the firstlings of his flock and of the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering.
Why? Because he followed the instructions of his mother and father in Genesis 3:21. That's what Cain did not. I ain't bringing the Lord no what he want. I'm going to give fruits and veggies. Go ahead, read on.
But unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. And the Lord said unto Cain, Why art thou wroth?
What you mad for? Fix your face. Go ahead.
And why is thy countenance fallen? If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted?
Meaning, if you obey my law, won't I accept you? Go ahead.
And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door.
Here's the beginning right here, right there. He said, if you don't do well, sin lying at your door. Go ahead.
And unto thee shall be his desire.
And unto thee shall be his desire. This is a conversation now he's having with Satan. Satan and Cain, and unto thee shall be his desire. Go ahead.
And thou shalt rule over him.
Now watch this. I'm going to give you a precept. Give me 2 Thessalonians 2. And I think it's verse 4. You know what I want, Solomon? Whose comings is after the workings of Satan. It's saying the same thing here in Genesis 4. I'm showing you the beginning and the end. It's the same thing. Read that. Now remember 2 Thessalonians 2 and 4 is a prophecy about these last days. Go ahead.
It's in verse 9. You want me to
Verse
start
9?
higher?
No, just with that part. Whose comings is after the working of Satan, that one.
2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 9. Even him,
which is talking about the white man. Listen good, Esau, Edom.
Whose coming is after the working of Satan. With all power and signs and lying wonders.
Let's go back to Genesis 4 and verse 7 again.
Genesis chapter 4 and verse 7. If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him.
And Satan, you shall rule over him. Satan, you will be his God. That's why in Thessalonians, Paul said, whose comings is after the working of Satan. Now, a lot of times, brothers and sisters, if y'all ever notice in politics, there's a couple of brothers, I believe it was Chicago and Atlanta. I didn't go say the name, so I might get them wrong. These black politicians that get arrested for dealing with bribes and under the table monies. White people do it all the time. I want you to understand. White folks do briberies and money things under the table all the time. But we ain't them. Right, they show you that in the wire. When we do it, now we get arrested and locked up. Why? We did the same thing the white man did. You ain't the white man. His comings and goings are after Satan. Our comings and goings are supposed to be after who? That's right. Exactly right. But when you try to step out of that, that's when things go hella wrong for you. That's what happens. Where we at now? Back to Genesis 4.
Verse 8.
Yeah, because that's not the when you're looking at it, your whims is different than his whim. You understand?
You said realm?
Yeah, realms.
Oh, realms.
Realms is different than how he think. We think different than him.
Thank you.
Just French.
Thank
and
you.
a little
French,
Hebrew mix.
Little Hebrew mixed in there. I appreciate you. Merci beaucoup. Where we at, Solomon?
Verse 8, sir.
Go ahead.
And Cain talked with Abel his brother, And it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him.
He killed him. Go ahead.
And the Lord said unto Cain, Where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper?
So notice the Spirit of the Lord was there, and he said, Where is Abel thy brother? Go ahead.
And he said, What hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground.
That shows you, you may be physically dead, but you're not dead. Your spirit is still alive. Let me show you that. Give me the next precept. Revelation 6, you know what I want? It might be around 9, about the souls under the altar. Because we got to look at death differently. The way we've been brought up in church, forget all that. Forget that. Death is like you close your eye on this side, you open them on the other side. Come on.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 6 and verse 9. And when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of God.
They were slain for the gospel. Go ahead.
And for the testimony which they held.
Mm-hmm.
And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Lord, holy and true?
They speaking. I thought they were slain, but they're speaking to the Lord. Go ahead.
How long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell in the earth?
Mm-hmm. These are the souls of the disciples, the apostles, and the followers. Read.
And white robes were given unto every one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And it was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little season.
Now, this might get y'all nervous, but go ahead.
Until their fellow servants also and their brethren that should be killed as they were should be fulfilled.
That's talking about this time here. That's talking about this time. So don't think there's going to be a walk in the park, tiptoeing through the tulips. Nah, brothers. We've been telling y'all for some time, legislation is being already set up. Speaking and preaching the Bible is going to be outlawed, at least the way we teach it. They call that hate speech. They call that anti-Semitism. It will be fines, arrests, and killings, murders. Watch. All I can do is tell you what's going to happen. Where we at, Solomon?
Verse 9.
Back to Genesis,
4.
right?
Verse 11.
Genesis 4?
Yes, sir.
All right, verse 11.
And now art thou cursed from the earth.
Talking about Cain is cursed from the earth. Go ahead. That's when all that melanin was gone. Go ahead.
Which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand.
Mm-hmm.
When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength.
Now, that was a prophecy for these times. That's why they got GMOs and all that. They said the earth ain't yielding its strength. Its strength. We got to make GMOs, genetically modified organisms. We got to clone food. Things ain't right. It ain't yielding the strength. Go ahead.
A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth.
See that? A fugitive and a vagabond. Meaning they have never paid for their crime. Now, Cain was killed. But their ancestors would do such evil that they would never pay for their crimes until the second coming of Christ. Give me that what Cain was. Now, I'll read. Remind me that when we read further down. Whoever findeth me. Read on.
And Cain said unto the Lord, My punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid.
And from thy face shall I be hid. Meaning God ain't dealing with me. Who's going to be dealing with him, brothers? Satan's going to be dealing. Remember it said, and over thee shall be his desire, and he shall rule over you. I'm paraphrasing. I can't quote. Go ahead.
And I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth.
Meaning they wouldn't pay for their crimes. The white men in these days and age have not paid for no crimes. I ain't talking about one individual. I'm talking about as a nation. They have not paid. They stole lands. All right, collectively, thank you. They have not paid. Read.
And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me.
Everyone that findeth me shall slay me. Go ahead.
And the Lord said unto him, Therefore whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold.
Whoever kills Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. This also shows you there were other people that Adam and Eve had. That's not mentioned. Read it again.
And the Lord said unto him, Therefore whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold.
That's why in the bottom of verse 14, look at it, that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. Wait a minute. But it's only Adam and Eve and you. You just killed your brother. So what are you talking about? People, the churches don't see stuff like that. That's why it says, open thou mine eyes that I may behold wondrous things in thy law. Go ahead.
And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him.
Now, to understand this mark, what was the mark of God, brothers? His law. Just think about the opposite now. This dude is wicked as hell. It's going to be sin. That's what it's talking about. Okay? That's all it's talking about. This dude is such a malevolent dude. That's when you read in all throughout the Bible and talk about Esau, Edom is always wickedness, evil, evil. And it's like if there's peace on earth, Esau is the type of guy that said, I want to start a war. I'm going to start a war just because I can. So now read that. What verse you at, Solomon?
That was 15 to 16.
That was 15. You read 15 and 16? So now I made a statement. I said Cain was killed. Didn't I say that? Give me that Wisdom of Solomon 10, 1 to 3.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 10 and verse 1. She preserved the first form father of the world.
Talking about wisdom.
That was created alone.
Talking about Adam right there.
And brought him out of his fall.
Right, because he was given sacrifice, and that's how he came out of the fall. Go ahead.
And gave him power to rule all things.
That shows you Adam was on a God level. That's what it means. That's what it means. And gave him power to rule all things. Go ahead. Here it comes.
But when the unrighteous went away from her in his anger.
The unrighteous. Notice what it's calling Cain. The unrighteous went away from her, went away from wisdom. In his anger, he killed his brother. But watch this. Here's the point.
He perished also in the fury wherewith he murdered his brother.
Y'all see that? He perished the same way. Somebody killed Cain. Let's go on back now. Let's go on back to Genesis 4. And what verse were you in?
16.
Okay, go ahead.
And Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod on the east of Eden. And Cain knew his wife.
Wait a minute. Now he got a wife. I thought it was just Adam and Eve and Cain. Now the man done got a wife because there was other people there. Go ahead.
And she conceived and bare Enoch. And he builded a city.
Wait a minute. I want y'all to think about it. He builded a city. Why do you need a city for Adam, Eve, Cain, and his wife? That's just 4 people. You don't need a city. That's a house. Let you know there was a lot more people. Understand what's going on here. Read it again, Solomon.
And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Enoch. And he builded a city and called the name of the city after the name of his son Enoch.
So he called this city Enoch. Go ahead.
And unto Enoch was born Irad, and Irad begat Mehujael, and Mehujael begat Methusael, and Methusael begat Lamech. And Lamech took unto him 2 wives.
See, this is the beginning. This was the first mention of what they call that today? Polygamy. Cain's seed started that. Go ahead.
The name of the one was Ada, and the name of the other Zillah. And Ada bare Jabal. He was the father of such as dwell in tents, and of such as have cattle. And his brother's name was Jubal. He was the father of all such as handled the harp and organ.
So this is where music started now. The Lord is allowing the seed of the wicked now to bring these things forth. Go ahead.
And Zillah, she also bare Tubal-Cain.
Tubal-Cain, go ahead.
An instructor of every artificer in brass and iron.
So he made all kinds of weaponry, all kind of unimaginable weapons. Remember, you think, Esau tell you we ran around, but people ran around with a stick and stones. No, that's not what it says there. Read that again.
And Zillah, she also bare Tubal-Cain, an instructor of every artificer in brass and iron.
Every artificer in brass and iron. So you imagine that he could make it. Go ahead.
And the sister of Tubal-Cain was Naamah. And Lamech said unto his wives, Ada and Zillah, hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech. Hearken unto my speech. For I have slain a man to my wounding.
I killed a man who wounded me. Go ahead.
And a young man to my hurt.
And I killed a young man who harmed me. So Tubal-Cain was killing people. Okay? Go ahead.
If Cain shall be avenged sevenfold.
He said, if Cain shall be avenged sevenfold.
Truly Lamech 70 and sevenfold.
Why 70 and sevenfold? Because remember what it said in verse 22. Read that one more again.
And Zillah, she also bare Tubal-Cain, an instructor of every artificer in brass and iron.
Imagine this dude, his family's the only one that got these weapons. You got a stick, and here this guy comes with all kind of weaponry. You dead. It's like, think of the white man. You got your little 9mm. He go, that's what you got, a 9mm? Or here's a better one. In Palestine, they throwing rocks, and the so-called Israelis is shooting rocket launchers. It's like, oh, that's all you got? Look what we got. America just made, what's that called? The Iron Dome. That thing protect all kind of missiles and all that. Esau's mind, the way Satan deals with him, takes him on another level of weapons. So this is why when you just, what was the verse you read earlier? About surely.
24.
Read 24 again.
If Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, truly Lamech 70 and sevenfold.
Now let's think about that a moment. You know when you fight somebody, you kill, I know none of y'all in here, but you fight somebody, it's one-on-one, whatever. He said, I'm going to be avenged 70, what did it say? 70 and sevenfold. I want y'all to just think. What do y'all think he did? Or they did with those weapons? You think they just killed one or two guys? They took out the whole family and their friends and associates. They went, that's how Esau get down. When he come for you, he ain't just, oh, you did something, I'm gonna just get you. No. You're like the mafia. They get you, your wife, your kids. That's how they get down. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? This is what's going on right here. What verse you at again?
We finished 24.
Go ahead.
Verse 25. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son, and called his name Seth. For God said, she hath appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew.
Oh, watch this. It just popped in my mind. I'm sorry, brothers. Give me Genesis 36 about Esau's blessing. You know what I'm talking about? This goes with Cain's line, who got all those weapons, that spirit of understanding weapons. You know what I want, Solomon? Because I'm not looking at it. Genesis 36, the blessings. Is it 27?
Yeah.
I'm not looking at it.
Yes, sir.
I want Esau's blessing.
Yes, sir. This is Genesis chapter 27 and verse 37. And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants. And both corn and with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son?
What verse you at?
Verse 38 now.
Go ahead.
And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth.
Remember it said about Cain, he should be a fugitive and a vagabond. A vagabond like a bum that's everywhere. Esau is everywhere. Go ahead.
And of the dew of heaven from above.
Meaning they're everywhere. Go ahead.
And by thy sword.
That's what I wanted right there. And by thy sword
shalt thou live.
That goes back to Cain's seed of Tubal-Cain. Because remember, Tubal-Cain and all of Cain's line was dead when the flood hit. Y'all with me? But then they came back through Noah's seed. And now we got Esau here, who got the same blessing that Cain's lineage got. Now that's some heavy stuff. Everybody don't understand that. Read that again.
Verse 40. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck.
You can read about that in 2 Kings 8, verse 20, when Esau broke from under Judah's reign. Okay, so from there, give me Daniel 8:25. Daniel 8:25.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 8 and verse 25. And through his policy.
Write this down. Through his policy. Go ahead. Just talk about the white man.
Also, he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand.
He shall cause craft to prosper in his hand. Go ahead.
And he shall magnify himself in his heart.
Mm-hmm.
And by peace.
Shall
destroy many.
Esau, now this was started with Antiochus Epiphanes. That's what it's going into. And when you read First Maccabees, it tells you that they made covenants of peace and all was deceit. Real quick, let me just prove my point, because I know somebody right now is going, I never read that before. You didn't read a lot of things. Hold on. Verse 30.
First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 30. And spake peaceable words unto them, but all was deceit. For when they had given him credence, he fell suddenly upon the city, and smote it very sore, and destroyed much people of the land.
Right. So that's always been their MO. They come with peace. Like ask Gad and Reuben, those peace treaties. All is always deceit behind it. For you to lower your guard. Then you dead, your mama dead, your wife dead, the baby dead. Everybody dead. Because you love the peace that he comes. Read Daniel 8:25. One more again, please.
And through his policy, also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many.
Give me 1 Thessalonians 5 and 1. 1 Thessalonians. I'm showing you the attributes of Esau, and it began with Cain. So what like we read in Ecclesiastes 1 and 9, what hath been is that which shall be. I'm paraphrasing, I don't quote too well, but it's going into the same thing. I'm taking you Old Testament, New Testament. If you see it, you see it. If you don't, you might see it next year. Ask the Lord to open your eyes. Read that.
1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 1. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety.
When they shall say peace and safety.
Then sudden destruction cometh upon them.
Go ahead.
As travail upon a woman with child.
So be mindful. When the world goes into this peace and safety, the Lord has prophesied, sudden destruction shall come. Was that it, Solomon?
And they shall not escape.
And they shall not escape. Okay, we finish that, Solomon? Because
Yes,
I'm not looking at it. Give me 1 Maccabees 1:29.
The book of 1 Maccabees.
Everybody want peace on the earth. When peace comes on this earth, you're going to see destruction like you've never seen it. True peace only comes when the 12 tribes of Israel are established in the earth under Christ. You can read, that's what Isaiah chapter 2 and Micah 4 is talking about. World peace will only be when the 12 tribes of Israel are established. Okay, 1 Maccabees 1:29.
Yeah, man, how the hell you been doing all these evil upon this earth? You expect peace to come out of that. Destruction gonna come for you.
That's right. Read that.
1 Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 29. And after 2 years fully expired, the king sent his chief collector of tribute unto the cities of Judah, who came unto Jerusalem with a great multitude, and spake peaceable words unto them. But all was deceit. For when they had given him credence, he fell suddenly upon the city, and smote it very sore, and destroyed much people of Israel.
Now jump to verse 41, please.
Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people.
See that? That all should be one people. This is where America got that concept from. Democracy, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. They got it from their forefathers, the Greeks. It's talking about the same thing. Christianity and democracy is the same thing. It's the same concept. Read.
And everyone should leave his laws.
You leave the laws of your land. Like when nations come, whether you've come from Iran, China, whatever country, they want you, forget that and learn America's laws. Learn what we do here in America. Go ahead.
So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king.
Now the word heathen means nations. All the other nations agreed to that thing. Read.
Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion.
Y'all see that? See what it's calling it? Religion. Many of the Israelites consented to his religion. Go ahead.
And sacrificed unto idols.
And the Israelites sacrificed unto idols.
And profaned the Sabbath.
Profaned the Sabbath.
For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land.
Read.
And forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days.
So the Greeks made a law to forget the laws of God and follow the strange laws of the land, Greek customs. Now, I'm going to show you the relevance of all this that we're reading in these last days. Read on.
And pollute the sanctuary and holy people. Set up altars and groves and chapels of idols and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts, that they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation. to the end they might forget the law and change all the ordinances.
That was the purpose that the Greeks had, that we might forget God's law and change all the ordinances. Read.
And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die.
He said, put him to death. If you don't follow Greek customs, die. That was Greek law. Now, you may be, what's that got to do with us today? It has everything to do with us today. Jump over to verse 57. I'm sorry, 57.
And wheresoever was found with any the book of the testament, or if any consented to the law, the king's commandment was that they should put him to death.
Start at 56. Start at 56.
Verse 56. And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law which they found, they burnt them with fire.
Read.
And wheresoever was found with any the book of the testament, or if any consented to the law, the king's commandment was that they should put him to death.
That's how far the Greeks went. Give me Revelation 13:13 now.
Revelation chapter 13 and verse 13. And he doeth great wonders.
The he there is talking about the so-called white man, in particular the United States of America. Read again.
And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men.
Hey, IT team, can y'all find me that, please? Can y'all find me that? Lava, talk a little bit. If they were listening, they know. That's why I didn't mention what I want.
Sorry,
They should know. Everything's just a test. Lava, talk.
Yeah, man, then, yeah, you know what's so heavy behind that class, Bishop? Because that man right here have a track record of being evil, being the children of Satan. So now the Lord is revealing to us all these times, all these welfare, all these housing, all these Section 8 he was given to us is a trap to keep us down. But at first we thought that this man is a good man. Hey, he's helping us with education. He's helping us with this. But there was always a deceitful spirit in him. You understand? To destroy us secretly. Go ahead, Bishop.
Okay, we're talking about World War II. That is not World War II. I want the atom bomb. Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Thank you. Put it on the screen.
Yeah, take a deep breath, Bishop. You're doing good right now.
Okay.
You're doing good right now,
Thank
sir.
you. Y'all know I'm old and cranky. Just
I
bear
know.
with me.
You're
Bear
doing
with
good
me.
right now.
People online be mad. You don't got the spirit of Christ. I'm old. Sorry. I'm old and cranky. I've been teaching this for the same things. I expect these brothers to know.
Yeah.
All right. The dropping of the atom bomb, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. They destroyed cities, 2 cities. They didn't drop it on their people. They dropped it on Ammon, the Japanese. Okay, read that again.
Revelation chapter 13 and verse 13. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles.
Notice what it's calling it, miracles. Why is John calling it miracles? Because nobody saw nothing like that before. Read.
Which he had power to do in the sight of the beast.
Ah, that word beast. That word beast means men, which he had power to do in the sight of men. Those were his allies, as well as what was the other team? What was the other side called? It try something. My mind went blank. Anybody know what it's about? No, not Trilateral Commission. World War II. They were fighting the allies against it was Germany and them, but the Axis powers, yes. There was a term that they were called. I can't remember. Read it again.
Verse 14, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast.
And the sight of the beast is talk about man, huh? The axis. We always said that. Go ahead.
Saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast.
That they should make an image to man. Go ahead.
Which had the wound by a sword and did live.
which had the wound by a sword and did live. Write this down. Rome. This image would be in honor of Rome. Rome is the nation that had a wound by the sword. They fell in 193 AD. 193. They came back in around, I'll say around 1400s. I'll say it like that, around the 1400s, the Renaissance period. Give me the image that they made. I forgot the name. Solomon, Jesus. Give me image of Jesus. I think it's Sullivan or Solomon. Y'all bear with me. It's one picture that became famous during World War II. It's a picture of Jesus, the new Renaissance Jesus. Okay. Do y'all know what I'm talking about in the back? All right. It's the one, it's like a 3/4 view of his face. Yes, that's it. This is the one that came during World War II that became world-renowned famous. This one right here. All the soldiers were given this image on little cards and things to inspire them to fight, fight, fight. So read that again. Go back. Where is that, Solomon?
Verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live.
Mm-hmm.
And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast.
He had power to give life unto the image of the beast. They gave that image the life of Christ. It's originally was based upon who? Caesar Borgia, the second son of Pope Alexander VI of Rome. They said, no, this is our Jesus. That's what Leonardo da Vinci did. He was the first one that did that. Put that up, the sketches of Leonardo da Vinci of Christ. Leonardo da Vinci's Christ of Caesar. Put that up. I know some of you, I'm going through this because I know some of y'all are new.
It's on the Caesar Borgia.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, your brother should be on that, bro. Playing too much game up in there.
See, like you said, the
Yeah.
IT team, they've gone over this before.
Yeah.
They should know, he's going to go here, he's going to pull this scripture, he's
Yeah.
going to pull, he wants this image. They should.
To show you where they're
Am I being unreasonable?
No, you're right. You're
All right.
It just,
All right.
we just have to.
Leonardo da Vinci sketches, please. The class is waiting.
And that was not that long. We pulled that thing out too. 2 weeks.
Are the people online waiting? Are they waiting? People online are
All
waiting.
All praise to the Most High, Bishop. They already done that. They know their class about to be the headbanger.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, Atlanta, where's Atlanta? His camera. I'm going to need y'all IT team to roll with me.
Yeah.
I'm going to need y'all to roll with me, all right?
Yeah.
Train brothers.
Yep. Wow.
They ain't got it yet?
He trying to help him, but they ain't see it.
All right. Anyway, Solomon, where were you at?
Verse 15, sir.
Go ahead.
And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak.
This image speaks in their movies, in their media. Go ahead.
And cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
What's the word? I want to see who's thinking. What word do y'all think I want to pull out of? Based on what we've gone over thus far from the beginning of the class, what word do you think I want to pull out of here? Anybody got a clue? Let me hear. What word do you think I want? That last sentence that Officer Solomon just read. There's one word. Based on what we've gone over, I want one word. Let me see if you got it. Shalom.
No.
Beast. He didn't read beast. It says, and cause that as many as would not worship the, oh yeah, that says beast. And cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. You're close, but that's not the word. Let me hear you. Because I explained beast already.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Image.
Nope.
For Mark. No.
Nope. I know it's kind of a hard question. It is kind of a hard question. I don't expect y'all to be
Shalom leadership
yes.
worship.
Worship. That's it. That's what I want. Put that on the screen now. We passed the moment, but put it on the screen anyway. These were the sketches that Leonardo da Vinci. He was the first to take Caesar Borgia as the new Christ, followed by Michelangelo. Michelangelo was younger than Leonardo da Vinci. Okay, so thank you. So now, why do I want worship? It says that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Go back to Wisdom of Solomon 14:27. 14:27.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 27. For the worshiping of idols,
not
to be named, is the beginning.
Is the beginning with Adam and Eve. That was the beginning when they sinned in the garden, dealt with idolatry. Go ahead.
The cause.
And the end. And the end. We're reading the book of Revelation. This book is about the end. Go ahead.
Of all evil.
Of all evil. So Solomon, go back to Revelation 13 and read 15 again.
And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
So if you don't worship this image, you would be killed. So now, watch this. You often, I don't want to say that yet. Read on.
And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead.
This mark still goes back to the mark of Cain, which is sin. Okay, but notice the word sin is not there. You'll see the word mark and go, is it a tattoo? Is it a microchip? But listen, read again, 16.
And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand.
Your right hand is your strength. It's what you support things with. Go ahead.
Or in their forehead.
Your forehead is your mind, your brain. It's something you believe. Something remember, we talk about worship, right? We're talking about worship. This is something you believe. We're not going to make like we didn't just read verse 15 where it talks about worship. Worship is something that's willing generally. Or I guess you could force people to do it, but how could you force someone to worship? Let's read the next verse, verse 17. Watch this.
And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name.
Now, generally, we can look at it on a broad scale. Let's look at a broad scale with America. If anyone does not follow the policies of America to our nations, what does America do? What do they put on them? Sanctions. You can't buy, that country cannot buy or sell. But we want to look at it on individual what's the word I want? Individual scale. Thank you, on an individual scale. I'm going to show y'all how they do it on an individual scale. So read that again. Because guess what? If they cut you off from buying and selling, that is a way to force you and me to what? To worship. That's a technique. Well, they won't do what we say, Harry. They'll cut them off from buying and selling. Oh, they'll do it. So read on.
Verse 17.
Just like if you don't do what America says and they cut that nation off from buying and selling, that's the way to break you, to make you obey what they want you to do. Everybody with me so far? Go ahead.
Verse 17. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man.
Count the number of the man, because beast is man. Remember that. Beast is man. Count the number of the man, for it is the number of a man. It's still talking about the same thing. Go ahead. And his number?
And his number is 666.
And we've gone over this in other classes. The 6th seal, 6th trump, and the 6th vial. So now watch this. Give me the video on Wendy Williams, please. Wendy Williams. I'm going to show y'all something. Wendy Williams. Now, we see things in the news and we giggle, we laugh. Although it ain't funny, in case Wendy Williams is watching, I'm not saying what happened to you is funny. We just see things that happen in the media regarding Hollywood stars, and we really don't take it serious. Okay, do you have the video? Let's play it.
Wendy Williams says there's no way she's getting vaccinated.
No, I don't trust it. There, I said it. I don't trust it.
Dr. Oz tries to persuade her during an appearance on his show, even showing video of his own vaccination. But the talk show host is adamant.
I've never gotten the flu shot either, though, and you and I have talked about that. And several of the doctors on my team talked to me about, Wendy, we'll get the flu shot. I've never had the flu. I'm not getting a flu shot.
Dr. Oz, who's making headlines today for resuscitating a man who had a heart attack at Newark Airport, tells Inside Edition he's concerned that Wendy's reluctance may influence millions of her fans not to get vaccinated.
Pause it. So notice it said because of her influence, she might influence millions of her fans not to do it. Play on.
Was stunned and flabbergasted when she told me that she wasn't going to get vaccinated. She's thinking about it, but she's a very firm, opinionated woman, as you know. And I think she speaks for a lot of women in the Black community.
One commentator called her remarks incredibly ignorant and destructive.
You have access to my money. This is not right. And again, this is not fair.
Wendy Williams is speaking out against her former financial advisor and Wells Fargo, who she claims is keeping her from her millions. The talk show host took to Instagram on Tuesday to let her supporters know what's really going on, after her bank, Wells Fargo, alleged she is an incapacitated person who needs a guardianship and can't access her money. 57-year-old
Wait, pause it. Y'all don't see nothing odd with that? When does a bank say, I think you're mentally unstable and I'm not allowing you? I've never heard of this. I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell's going on here? This is some crazy stuff. You ever heard of that, Cap? This is some crazy stuff. Play on.
Video, quote, I'm tired of everyone speaking as if they're me in this scenario. It's time I let all of my loving supporters know what's really been going on with Wendy.
We've got a lot to talk about. Lori Schiller and Wells Fargo have this guardianship petition about keeping me away from my money. This is not right. And you know this is not fair.
Speaking of that guardianship petition,
and this guy named Bernie Young,
in the video, Wendy brought up her former manager, Bernie Young, who she fired earlier this year. According to reports, Young recently filed to be Wendy's legal guardian, and Wendy alleges he did it with her money.
I know for a fact that Bernie Young used my American Express card to hire an attorney to file a petition against me. That was done with my American Express card. Bernie Young, you're no good, and this is not fair.
In the almost 4-minute clip, Wendy's frustration is very clear.
This is not fair. This is not fair.
In a previous statement from Wells Fargo, a rep for the bank told ET, we deny any allegations of improper actions with respect to Miss Williams' accounts and are fully participating in a court process to reach a resolution that is in her best interest. The financial well-being of our clients is at the heart of everything we do. Last month, Wendy's attorney released a statement firing back at Wells Fargo, strenuously denying claims Wendy is struggling with her mental health. And her lawyers went to court in an effort to help her regain access to her money in personal and business accounts at Wells Fargo. ET's been following these developments since lawyers for the bank and Williams filed legal documents laying out their case. The TV host's lawyers also filed for a temporary restraining order against the bank, which a judge has yet to rule on.
Well, you know, when people want control of their accounts, they say anything, including something crazy like that about me.
Last week, in a pre-recorded phone interview, Wendy Williams shared her frustration about not having access to her financial accounts on Good Morning America.
They saying that I need somebody to handle my account. And I don't want that. I want all my money. I want to see all my money that I've worked hard for my entire life. My entire life.
When it comes to Wendy's battle with Wells Fargo, ET previously spoke with attorney Mitra Ahurian, who does not rep either party.
They had some concerns over her ability to make financial decisions, and they froze all her assets. So she cannot do the simplest things like pay her bills. They really need evidence that she is of unsound mind.
What do you mean they need evidence? What do you mean need? When this is a new thing. Now, this is some crazy stuff. Now, all the pictures I've been seeing when you look at when is that she's on drugs now. Now, remember what Kanye was saying? Yay. He said the same thing. They said he's crazy. Remember they put him in a mental institution?
Yep, it's true.
Remember Dave Chappelle when he didn't want to do that last contract?
Yep.
He said by the time you get home, everyone's going to believe you're a crackhead. And that's exactly what everybody believed.
Yeah, man, but if you trying to help her, she got bill. At least pay her bill. That mean, where's her money? How the hell she gonna pay her bill? You said she's sick, but at least pay her bill. That's showing you that devil is alive.
But this is how they can break you and make you do what they want you to do. I'm reading it. We're going over it because of what we see here in Revelation 13, 17, and 18. How they use money to break you to their will. Give me the next video, please. Or it's an article. Thank you. Or is there a video in that? Okay. How long is that video? 4 hours. No. Okay, let's start from the top. Put it on the screen. This is, read this.
Essentially sports.
Can you blow it up bigger than that? There's a lot of dead space on the side.
Controversial influencer Andrew Tate reveals the ban Hammer prohibited him from even using Uber.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Tate has been the most talked about and the most controversial influencer on social media for this entire year. This has made him the most hated and criticized public figure on any platform. With his controversial takes, the former kickboxer was recently banned from almost every major platform.
Mm-hmm.
In a recent podcast, he said that the ban Hammer was so severe that it even cost him his trips since he was prohibited from using Uber. This is shocking because getting banned from Uber is essentially impossible. And even if they do get banned, they have to be convicts for felonies. Andrew Tate shares his ban story. In a recent conversation with PBD Podcast, Andrew Tate shared his side of the story where he said that every major platform from Meta to YouTube and Airbnb to Uber banned him.
So, because when you hear banned or cancel, I'm just thinking social media. It went so far to Airbnb and Uber. Okay, go ahead.
In this 5-hour-long podcast, Tate explained how he was canceled on the internet by a, quote, coordinated effort by the tech giants to stop him. He said, quote, I had 738,000 subscribers. It took me a long time to build it up. I got a strike on YouTube, which prevented me from posting. No big deal. The next day, Meta took me down and deleted my Facebook and my Instagram. He then further explained, quote, so we're waiting for the YouTube strike to expire. A few hours before the YouTube strike expires, guess what happens? They banned me from YouTube. Then they banned me from Discord. Then they banned me from Airbnb. They banned me from Stripe, Uber, you name it. Why is getting banned from Uber such a big deal? According to the guidelines by Uber, it is very unlikely to get banned by them until the rider-passenger is not doing any criminal or offensive activity in Uber itself.
That's what I thought. If you commit a crime in Uber, then they can ban you. But he wasn't dealing with Uber, but that's how far they took it. Go ahead.
But as Andrew Tate claims, he got banned from Uber while he was not riding. The ban makes it even more curious. Notably, Andrew Tate confirmed, saying that he created a fake account on Uber and even challenged the company to ban him this time. But the question still ponders, was banning Tate a, quote, coordinated effort by the tech giants?
Now, there's videos on this because he said they froze 4 of his bank accounts, took his house. That's how far they went on this guy. So what we're reading in Revelation about no man could buy or sell except it's not a far-fetched thing. Okay, we see it on mass scale with nations, but it's also coming here on an individual level. We see it with Wendy Williams so far and Andrew Tate. Give me the next one about Ye.
You know what's so heavy behind these? These are a warning for our brothers who have money in this system. When you read these things, you better be smart about your money. Don't trust these people, man, because their hands is long. They can cancel all your thing overnight.
Give me the next one. Put it on the screen. Read that.
Chase cancels Kanye, but should banks engage in culture wars? JP Morgan Chase sent a letter to Kanye West giving him 60 days to close his accounts and take his business elsewhere. While the bank hasn't publicly stated a reason, experts point to several cases of banks cutting ties with controversial figures based on, quote, reputation risk.
Now, believe it or not, who was with me? Was you with me in Nigeria when they canceled us? There was a bank. We in Nigeria doing the work. They canceled us. Exactly what happened to Kanye and what's his name? The other guy, Tate. Happened. That's why I'm like, what the? We sit in the middle of another country. We had no access to money and everything was declined. Even the credit card, decline. So what the hell? Deacon Yashua called and said, yo, they canceled everything. That's why when we say we had to get money from the London, our school in London. So they was London and Amsterdam had to help us. Y'all don't know the fear that was on us, but y'all don't know, we don't tell y'all everything. But I told we was catching hell. We don't.
Banks have a right to close accounts for any reason, but taking sides in the culture wars may put their own reputation at risk. Kanye West is no stranger to controversy. From award shows and television interviews to social media, he has made jaw-dropping headline comments around race, gender, and politics. He was accused of anti-Semitic remarks on Twitter, and the platform then locked his account on October 10th.
I want y'all to understand. Think about Wendy Williams. She said she doesn't want to get vaccinated. Andrew Tate. He says things, well, I think it's funny. He says like the worst drivers in the world are women. I think it's hysterical. I tell my wife that all the time. You can't drive. But women, the feminists don't like that. They be on him. Remember they tried to do that with Kevin Samuels before he passed away. There was a huge petition to get him off YouTube. But I thought we had freedom of speech. You can say whatever you want. You're not trying to ignite people to go kill somebody. We know that's illegal. But you don't have the right to say, women can't drive, or Chinese people can't drive. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Oh God! Right, you can't state your own opinion. You're not saying, "Hey, kill this person." We're not saying that, but something you state your opinion on. Hey, this person can't drive, and quote unquote powers that be go, "Hey, cancel him or cancel her." You know what you're gonna say? Lama?
Because their freedom is a myth. It doesn't exist.
It's a myth.
I mean,
Exactly.
they make you believe that thing. So
Right.
when you talk now, you're like, bro, I thought you said we have freedom
Exactly.
to speak. That's
Exactly.
what's going on.
Kanye West said, we're the 12 tribes of Israel. Jewish people messed his business up. Cancel him. They should. I think the article's going to say it. Go back to the article. Y'all keep playing. You better wake up and see what time we're living in. Come on.
2 days later, conservative author and influencer Candace...
Oh, wait. Jaw-dropping headline comments around race, gender, politics. He was accused of anti-Semitic remarks on Twitter. Okay, now it's softened 2 days later. Good.
2 days later, conservative author and influencer Candace Owens tweeted a letter sent by JP Morgan Chase to West indicating the bank had, quote, decided to end its banking relationship with Yeezy LLC and its affiliated entities. Yeezy is West's apparel company.
Because they don't like what he said. Are you kidding me? Y'all better know what time we are in. Okay, raise it up. Raise it. Raise it. I don't want to read all of this. All right, start here. That was a letter from Chase, by the way, but go ahead.
Chase hasn't publicly commented on the matter, but
Of course not. Good.
But West, a rapper who now goes by Ye, made it known in an interview on Drink Champs on October 15th that he wasn't happy with the bank. Quote, I put $140 million into JP Morgan and
Damn! Go ahead.
they treated me like shit, he said. So if JP Morgan Chase is treating me like that, how they treating the rest of y'all?
Mm-hmm. Watch as IUIC gets bigger. I'm telling y'all, and this gospel goes out. Watch. Things like this is going to happen. Read.
The interview, which had many controversial comments, has since been pulled from YouTube. The New York Post and many media outlets note the letter from Chase was dated before West's recent tweet. West also said on September 12th he was cutting most corporate ties, and that, quote, it's time for me to go it alone. During that interview, he also criticized Chase for not giving him access to CEO Jamie Dimon. The reputational risk of banking with Kanye. The truth as to why Chase is closing West's accounts may never be known because banks don't have to give a reason, says Chris Skinner, author and CEO of The Financial.
Well, how come they don't tell us at the bank when you open an account, hey, we can close you down at any moment? They don't say that. The hell is this? Go ahead.
Quote, is it really cancel culture? Skinner asked. Or is it something else? They won't tell you because under regulations and their own bank practices, they're not obligated to. There's no denying that with years of controversy to his name, West comes with more baggage than an airport terminal.
See how they got to throw the insults in there?
Yeah, man, but Bishop, you notice all these black brothers, they have billions. That showing you they're not united themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah, to let white people get away with foolish things like that, they're showing you, your brothers, you ain't right too.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Just for time's sake, give me the next article. Watch what America is about to do. Because Andrew Tate said, I started recently, I think within the past week or so, I've been saying, hey, listen to what this brother said. Now, everything we don't agree with, just like with Kevin Samuel, we didn't agree with everything. But they had some good talking points. Andrew Tate was saying, always keep some money, cash on hand. Now, watch this next article. Well, this is from Wikipedia. Watch this. Read this.
Executive Order 14067. Executive Order 14067, officially titled Ensuring Responsible Development of Digital Assets, was signed on March 9th, 2022, and is the 83rd executive order signed by U.S. President Joe Biden.
Good old Joe, your president. Go ahead.
The telos of the order is to develop digital assets in a responsible manner.
So what they're doing, they're going to get rid of the cash system and make everything digital. And this was signed like nobody even knew about this thing. Go ahead. Very few people, I'll say that. Go ahead.
The executive order addresses the potential national security implications of cryptocurrencies. Provisions. The executive order aims to develop a digital assets policy plan and organize federal regulators' efforts in this area. The order outlines 5 main goals, which includes protection of consumers and investors, monetary stability, decreasing financial and national security risks, economic competitiveness, and responsible innovation.
All this is a way to control you. Because if you got cash on hand, they can't really control you but so much. But if they make everything digital, they can control you that way.
Yeah, they will know
With
who
one
you
button,
give money
delete.
to. Yeah, who you give money to. They will know where your money go.
Exactly.
They will know who you support. They will know. That's why they're trying to set it up like that.
Exactly. Go ahead.
It also asks for more work to
Where are you at? Oh, okay, good.
It also asks for more work to be done into developing a United States central bank digital currency.
Mm-hmm.
Companies in the digital asset field will likely see policy changes in the form of regulation and enforcement, but it might also give the market and its participants more clarity. The order instructs federal agencies to conduct a wide assessment of existing policies relating to digital assets and to submit reports recommending regulatory and legislative reforms.
Okay, we're going to end it there. Y'all can read the rest at home on your own. Give me the next video on religion. So now I'm going here because remember we read in Revelation about the image of the beast and you can't, then went into economics of buying and selling. Give me the next one. This is from CBN. Okay, hello.
Coming to you early in the morning from the streets of Rome. We're here to cover a first-of-its-kind meeting called the Abraham Accords Global Leadership Summit. Ambassador Denon, great to...
Where's he at, brothers? Rome. It's not by accident. It's not by accident. Go ahead.
be with you once again.
Great to be here in Rome.
Tell us, what is the Abraham Accords Global Leadership Summit?
It's an amazing event where we have dozens of leaders from all around the world coming together to learn from us, the countries in the region who achieved peace, how we did it, and what we can do to help them. What we will see in this conference is an amazing coexistence of different religions but we have the same values. And when you look at the Abrahamic Accords, how come we were able to forge such a strong bond? It all goes to the core values. The amount of cooperation is above all expectations. The number of Israelis traveling to the UAE, trade, culture, you name it. We are very proud of it, and I'm optimistic that in the near future, we will see more countries joining the Abraham Accord, especially now when we have a new government, when the Likud-led government will take control in a few days, we will see that we will be able to expand the accords.
So the idea here is to expand the influence of the Abraham Accords to nations around the world?
Absolutely. And also, we are very active on the bilateral arena, but we can also take it to the multilateral arena.
So as you can see, the main goal of this whole thing is really moving towards a one world control, one world peace is how it comes on the scene at first, but ultimately leads to one world control. Here is an update on that, and here's a picture of it, a tweet someone tweeted saying it's almost done. The one on the right is a church, the one in the middle is a synagogue, and the one on the left is a mosque.
Well, alrighty then. So them it's almost done. One world religion, one world control. All goes back to what we just read in Revelation 13. Keep your eyes open. We will be tried. Go to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. I think I want verse 10.
Second Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 10. And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish.
Now this is talking about our people right here. Where you at? I forgot. I even flipped the pages of my Bible. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 10. Go ahead, read it again.
And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness.
With all deceivableness of unrighteousness. Don't just run by that. Deceivableness, one word, deceit or deception. Of unrighteousness. Give me another word for unrighteousness. Sin. Sin. Go ahead.
In them that perish.
In them that perish.
Because they receive not the love of the truth.
Because they receive not the love of the truth. Give me that precept, Psalms 119, 142. The love of the truth. Remember, they're merging Islam, Christianity, and Judaism. Okay? To be one world religion, peace, and love. And remember, this Bible is about prophesy, like Jeremiah 28. It says, we're the prophet. Give me that too. Give me that real quick. Yeah, 28 and 8. Give me that.
Jeremiah.
I remember on what was that radio? Not radio, the TV show. Jason Whitlock. He called me. He's feeling. He said, you are a disruptor. I said, all the prophets were disruptors. And I went here. Read this.
Jeremiah chapter 28 and verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war.
Of war?
And of evil.
Evil?
And of pestilence.
And pestilence. That's disease. Go ahead.
The prophet which prophesieth of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass.
That's all I want. So the prophets always prophesied of war, evil, and pestilence. So if you're saying something contrary about love and unity, that's not Bible. That's why these Christians are so mad at us. That's why the apologists are so angry, because we're prophesying the destruction of nations, because that's what the Bible says is going to happen. Now go back. We was going to explain truth, right?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
The book of Psalms, chapter 119, verse 142. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth.
Thy law is the truth. Going back now to 2 Thessalonians, read that again.
Verse 10. And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth.
They receive not the love of God's law. Go ahead.
That they might be saved.
They might be saved. Talking about our people. Go ahead.
And for this cause, God shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie.
I believe in that one world religion. I believe in a uniting of all races, all nations and kingdoms. And we can live however we want to. Go ahead.
Hold on, because there's no law being kept in there.
Exactly. Go ahead.
That they all might be damned.
That they all might be damned. Go ahead.
Who believed not the truth.
Who believed not the law.
But had pleasure in unrighteousness.
But had pleasure. Give me another word for unrighteousness. They had pleasure in sin. Do what you want. adultery, fornication, homosexuality, you name it, they love it. What verse was that? Down to 12?
Yes,
Give me
sir.
Revelation 14:9 now.
Revelation chapter 14 and verse 9.
I want you to imagine what was going on in that city that Cain built, that he called Enoch. That was the name of the city, right? Imagine the sin that was going on in that city. All kind of debauchery.
You could compare to today when people go to Vegas.
Yeah.
Or Atlantic City.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. Where you at?
Revelation chapter 14 and verse 9.
Read.
And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast.
Wait. Do y'all see that word there? Worship. Worship. Read again.
If any man worship the beast.
If any man worship the white man, that's what it's talking about. Go ahead.
And his image.
And his image.
And receive his mark.
And receive his policies. Go ahead.
In his forehead.
In your mind. Go ahead.
Or in his hand.
Or you support it. Mm-hmm.
The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God.
Y'all see that? What verse was that?
Verse 10, sir.
This is all talking about sin. That's what it's talking about. Go ahead. Because you may say, you know what? I don't accept Islam, but I accept Christianity with the white image of Jesus. Or you may say, I don't accept that, but I accept Judaism with the Talmud. Whatever you want, they got it for you. Okay? Read on. What verse you at? I'm sorry.
Verse 10, sir.
Go ahead.
The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and
be tormented with fire. Go ahead.
And brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb.
So don't think you're going to escape when you die. No. Your flesh may pass away quickly, instantly, but your spirit is still alive. You're going to get it. Go ahead.
And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever. And they have no rest, day nor night, who worship the beast.
Who worship the white man. Go ahead.
And his image. And whosoever receiveth the mark of his name.
You receive his policies. Okay, that's what it's going into. From there, write this down. Historical examples of tribulation. Write this down. Historical examples of tribulation. So now I'm going to go historically and show you, just like I did with Maccabees. I just want to show y'all some historical examples. I'm going to jump back to Maccabees just for time's sake. Give me Daniel chapter 3 and 1, please. Daniel chapter 3 and verse 1.
Daniel chapter 3 and verse 1.
Now I'm precepting these with what we've read in Revelation 13 and 14. I'm showing you that it's the same things going on. Go ahead.
Nebuchadnezzar the king made an image of gold.
Oh, he made an image too, an image of gold. Go ahead.
Whose height was 60 cubits, and the breadth thereof 6 cubits. He set it up in the plain of Dura in the province of Babylon.
Jump down from there to verse 5 and 6.
Verse 5.
Start at 4.
Verse 4. Then an herald cried aloud, to you it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king hath set up. And whoso falleth not down and worshipeth shall the same hour be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace.
Remember what we read in Revelation? Whoever would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. It's saying there's nothing changed, brothers and sisters. It's the same thing going on. This is just a new time era. That's all. From there, give me Daniel 6 and 12.
Daniel chapter 6 and verse 12. Then they came near and spake before the king concerning the king's decree. Hast thou not signed a decree that every man that shall ask a petition of any god or man within 30 days, save of thee, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions?
So they made a decree. You couldn't even worship any god. You got to go to the king if you want anything. Go ahead.
The king answered and said, the thing is true, according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which altereth not. Then answered they and said before the king, that Daniel, which is of the children of the captivity of Judah, regardeth not thee, O king, nor the decree that thou hast signed, but maketh his petition 3 times a day.
Make his petition 3 times a day. Jump over to verse 10 so we know what he's talking about.
Verse 10. Now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went into his house, and his windows being open in his chamber toward Jerusalem, he kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day, and prayed, and gave thanks before his God, as he did aforetime.
Now, why 3 times a day? Give me that in Psalms 55 and 17. We coming right back to Daniel, though. Well, all of us supposed to be praying 3 times a day. All of us. Okay, we got to step our game up in the spirit world. Read that.
Psalm 55, verse 17. Evening and morning and at noon will I pray.
Evening, morning, and at noon will I pray.
And cry aloud, and he shall hear my voice.
Mm-hmm. So that's what Daniel did. That's what we are to be doing. I know y'all thought Muslims made that up. No. The Muslims got that from our records, our forefathers. Go back to Daniel 6 now. And what verse were you in?
We finished 13 and then read 10.
Okay.
You want 14?
13 again.
Verse 13. Then answered they and said before the king, that Daniel, which is of the children of the captivity of Judah, regardeth not thee, O king, nor the decree that thou hast signed, but maketh his petition 3 times a day. Then the king, when he heard these words, was sore displeased with himself, and set his heart on Daniel to deliver him.
Because he had liked Daniel. Go ahead.
And he labored till the going down of the sun to deliver him. Then these men assembled unto the king and said unto the king, Know, O king, that the law of the Medes and Persians is that no decree nor statute which the king establisheth may be changed. Then the king commanded, and they brought Daniel, and cast him into the den of lions. Now the king spake and said unto Daniel, Thy God whom thou servest continually, he will deliver thee. And a stone was brought and laid upon the mouth of the den, and the king sealed it with his own signet, and with the signet of his lords, that the purpose might not be changed concerning Daniel.
So we read this to show you that they made decrees not to worship the Most High. Like we read it, remember we read that in Maccabees. It's the same thing. Remember Ecclesiastes says that the thing that which has been done is that which shall be done. And there's no new thing under the sun. From there, give me.
Bishop, you remember the thing you just showed, the 3 churches? They show the mass, and they show the church. Then it's the same thing. This is what's going on. If you don't bow down to these things, this thing is coming for you. I mean, they already set the whole thing up. That's why they're going to say there's peace, peace. Then that's when the destruction going to come.
Exactly. 2 Maccabees 6:1, please. I can remember back during time of high school a while back, when I remember they said the chip on your Visa card was the mark of the beast. And I remember saying, but where's the worship come in? I don't get it. Because I can read a little bit. It would say worship. Like being at the old school, like where would, how could they, old school didn't teach this, but there were people online when the internet finally came out, people say that little chip on your card, your credit card, is the mark of the beast. But where does how could they make you worship? It didn't make any sense. So now the pieces are falling into play. Everybody with me so far? I praise so. Where we at?
2 Maccabees chapter 6.
Verse 1.
Verse 1. Not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers.
Y'all see this? Just pay very close attention. The thing that has been is that which shall be. Go ahead.
And not to live after the laws of God, and to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem, and to call it the temple of Jupiter Olympius.
Jupiter is the Roman name for Zeus. It might be the other way around. I always get Greeks and Rome mixed up, but go ahead.
And that in Gerizim of Jupiter, the defender of strangers, as they did desire that dwelt in the place.
Right, defender of strangers, because they accepted all nations. Go ahead.
The coming in of this mischief was sore and grievous to the people, for the temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles, who dallied with harlots.
So they was having sex in the temple of God. Go ahead.
And had to do with women within the circuit of the holy places. And besides that, brought in things that were not lawful. The altar also was filled with profane things, which the law forbiddeth. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
Now, if y'all remember, if y'all have been watching Shout Out Tuesday or Our Hidden History, we've been going through the history regarding Spain and Portugal. It was the same thing. They made laws forbidding us, calling ourselves Jews, and keeping God's laws. And that was in the 1500s. Go ahead, read on.
And in the day of the king's birth, every month they were brought by bitter constraint to eat of the sacrifices. And when the feast of Bacchus was kept, the Jews were compelled to go in procession to Bacchus carrying ivy.
So they forced us on the king's birthday to worship the god Bacchus, or Bacchanal, as y'all call him today. Go ahead.
Moreover, there went out a decree.
A decree is a mandate. A decree is called a mandate. Go ahead.
To the neighbor cities of the heathen, by the suggestion of Ptolemy against the Jews, that they should observe the same fashions and be partakers of their sacrifices.
One world religion, one world. They want everyone united under Satan. That's what it is. Go ahead.
And whoso would not conform themselves to the manners of the Gentiles should be put to death.
Y'all see the decree? That you would die if you did not follow their policy. Go ahead.
Then might a man have seen the present misery.
All right, all right. From there, give me Acts 22 and 4.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 22 and verse 4. And I persecuted this way.
This is the Apostle Paul talking. Go ahead.
And I persecuted this way unto the death, binding and delivering into prisons both men and women.
So what Paul was doing, he's confessing his sins. Before he woke up, these are the things he did to the Israelites. Give me chapter 26 and verse 11.
Acts chapter 26 and verse 11.
Because what we just read during the time of the Greeks, Rome had the religious Jews do the same thing to the Israelites that followed Christ. Go ahead.
And I punished them oft in every synagogue, and compelled them to blaspheme.
Notice that, and compel them to. How do you compel someone to blaspheme? Who has an idea? Give me one word. Torture. That's how you compel people to blaspheme. See, a lot of times we just read by this. We look at it like pages on a book, but the things that were written aforetime was written for our learning. Like I said, give me that in Romans 15:4, please. So we understand. I don't want anybody in here to be under the misguided thought or notion that this is going to be a walk through the park, tiptoe through tulips. It's all good in Jesus. You're in the wrong place. We're telling you what's going to happen. Read that.
Romans chapter 15 and verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope.
We got to have hope, brothers and sisters. All right. So notice, I took y'all from Genesis, I took y'all to Daniel, I took y'all to Maccabees. Now we're in Revelation, now we're in Acts. The same thing where they create this system where they want you to worship the way they want you to worship, or you pay the price. What you gonna
But
say,
remember, these are all captivities you just went over.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what make America different?
Exactly. Where you at?
Acts 26, we were still in verse 11.
Read 11 again.
And I punished them oft in every synagogue, and compelled them to blaspheme. And being exceedingly mad against them, I persecuted them even unto strange cities.
Paul went so far in his confession. He said, I persecuted them even to strange city. He followed those Israelites that believed in Christ. Wherever they was, there was a manhunt for them. So what happened, I'm showing you that happened during the time of Daniel. Okay, that's what we just read about with Maccabees. Don't think America's any different. Like Deacon Laba said, it's going to be the same thing. We're going to be public enemy number one. Why? Because we want to keep the commandments, keep our family together, keep our nation together. They say that's evil. That's hate speech. From there, Give me Hebrews 10:34.
Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 34. For ye had compassion of me and my bonds.
When he was in prison, go ahead.
And took joyfully the spoiling of your goods.
You see that part right there? And took joyfully the spoiling, which means robbing of your goods. Homes will be taken, property seized. This is what happened during the time of the apostles. Read it again, read it again.
For ye had compassion of me and my bonds.
So they didn't get broken. That didn't break these brothers and sisters' spirit. Go ahead.
And took joyfully the spoiling of your goods, knowing in yourselves that ye have in heaven a better and an enduring substance.
They knew that when Paul spoke about heaven, it's talking about heaven on earth. That's what he's talking. He ain't talking about you go up in the sky and live wonderfully forever after. No. Christ said, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is where? In heaven. So when they talk about heaven, the Christian thinks, yeah, up in the sky. On earth. That's what they understood. From there, give me chapter 12, Hebrews 12 and verse 4.
Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 4. Ye have not yet resisted unto blood, striving against sin.
Paul was warning the Hebrews that started to believe, but he warned them just like I'm warning y'all. He said, you have not yet resisted unto blood, striving against sin. Because these Hebrews that he wrote to, they didn't go through nothing yet. He said, but I'm warning you, you have not yet resisted to blood. None of us in here have yet resisted. Just what he said, you have not yet resisted unto blood, striving against sin, striving against what these kings, these presidents mandate, what they decree. It's going to come to the point of death. This is what I'm trying to warn everybody. I'm trying to let them know.
It's up to them. That's it. Scripture say, if you wise, write this thing down.
Exactly. Now let's talk about tribulation prophecies. Write that down. Tribulation prophecy. Okay. Understand this. Give me Revelation 12. Revelation 12 and verse 14.
Revelation chapter 12 and verse 14. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle.
Now, this woman is talking about the nation of Israel. The 2 wings of a great eagle. Remember, Rome was on their heels, and the woman, which is Israel, fled. Give me that in verse 1. I'm not looking at it. I'm going somewhere else. So I'm counting on you to get that for me.
You want verse 2?
Yeah, the one about the woman. I want the woman.
Okay. Revelation chapter 12 and verse 1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet.
When it says the sun and the moon under her feet, give me that precept, Proverbs 6:23, please. This is what it means by the sun and the moon.
Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 23. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light.
And the law is light. The law is light. The law is light. Go back. So now we understand what the sun and the moon represents.
Revelation chapter 12 and verse 1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars.
So the crown of 12 stars represents the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, so now go back to where you was at, verse 14, I think.
Yes, sir. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle.
Remember, Rome's symbol was the eagle. They fled because Rome was on their behinds. Go ahead.
That she might fly into the wilderness, into her place.
The wilderness is talking about is the continent of Africa. That's where they fled, deeper into the coast of Africa. They didn't run up towards, give me the precept where Christ said run. Luke, is it 21? Find me that. Here's the precept.
Luke chapter 21, verse 20. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies,
the Roman armies, go ahead.
Then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains. and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto.
Now the question might be, did they run up towards Syria, places like that, or Turkey? No, because Rome had that already situated, locked down. But at the interiors of Africa, they hadn't ventured in there yet. Okay, they went but so far, like around Egypt, around there. Okay, so go back to where you was at.
Revelation chapter 12, verse 14. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is
Now,
nourished.
when it says into her place, write this down. The place is America. The place is the United States of America. So from the wilderness, she went to her place. How do we know what the place is? Go back to Hosea 1 and 10.
Hosea chapter 1 and verse 10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place, go ahead, where it was said unto them, ye are not my people.
Watch this.
There it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God.
That started in America. It did not start in the Caribbean. It did not start in France. It started here in America. This is when the brothers started hitting the streets, preaching who the tribes are, that we got to keep the commandments. That was here. That was not in Jamaica. It was not in Haiti. It was here, first and foremost. Going back.
Revelations 12 and 14. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time, and times, and half a time.
That's 3.5, which represents 350 years. We were nourished here. Go ahead.
From the face of the serpent.
So notice where it says she is nourished for a time and times and half a times. From the face of the serpent. Nourished from the face of the serpent. Give me the precept for that. Deuteronomy 28:48. What does it mean, nourished from the face of the serpent? Again, remember, similitudes, metaphors, allegories, parables.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48.
Let's see who's nourishing us. That's why we're going here. Go ahead.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
We shall serve our enemies.
Which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger.
In hunger.
And in thirst.
And in thirst.
And in nakedness.
And in nakedness.
And in want of all things.
And in want of all things. Go ahead.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, until he have destroyed thee.
So it's telling you that the people, if you want food, water, clothing, you got to get it from your enemies. So now when we go back to Revelation 12 and verse 14 again.
And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished.
This is what we want. Where she is nourished. Nourished how so? Food, water, clothing, want of all things. Go ahead.
For a time, and times, and half a time, from the face of the serpent.
Notice it's calling our enemies here. It says the serpent. The serpent. Read on.
And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood.
So what is this flood that is meant to carry us away? Give me that in Hebrews 13 and 9, I think.
Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 9. Be not carried about with diverse and strange doctrines.
That's it right there. Don't be carried about with diverse and strange doctrines. You know how many times brothers say, well, I saw this on the Discovery Channel. I saw this on this channel. I read this book. Diverse and strange doctrines, which is meant to carry us away from the laws of God and the truth that we're the 12 tribes of Israel. Going back. You going to say something?
Yeah, because with all this philosophy of Rome was bringing forward, then I'm glad you, that's a, Bishop, you're in the spirit, brother.
Come on.
Revelation chapter 12, verse 14. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time, and times, and half a time, from the face of the serpent. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. And the earth helped the woman.
The earth helped the woman. Give me that Psalms 85:11. The earth helped the woman.
Psalm chapter 85, verse 11. Truth shall spring out of the earth.
So when it says the earth helped the woman, it's talking about the truth coming out of the earth. Give me that other precept. It just popped in my mind. I don't know where it is. Matthew. Christ said about the gates of hell. You know what I'm talking about? Is it Matthew 16, Matthew 18? Anybody know what I'm talking about? It's been such a long, long time. Yeah. It says the gates of hell shall not prevail. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Matthew 16, 18, thank you.
Matthew chapter 16 and verse 18. And I say also unto thee that thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church.
When it says, and upon this rock, let me say this. I got to clear this up for you Catholics. Peter is not the rock that the church is built on. Do y'all realize right after this, Peter denied Christ 3 times? Do y'all realize that right after that, in Galatians, he denied the northern kingdom? Peter's not the rock. Who's the rock? Who's the chief cornerstone? Exactly. Let's read that again, please.
And I say also unto thee that thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church.
We're built upon Christ. He's the rock. He's the chief cornerstone. Go ahead.
And the gates of hell shall not prevail against it.
And the gates of hell, listen to that, brothers, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. So regardless of what they do to us, Christ has already prophesied. It's already written. He already seen it in the spirit. They shall not win. The wicked shall not prevail. Understand that thing. Let's go on back. So Christ is that rock. So when we go back to Revelation, what was it, 12 and verse 16?
Yes, sir. And the earth helped the woman.
That's Christ. That's this truth. Go ahead.
And the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth.
So now, metaphor, you may ask yourself, well, I'm trying to picture it. How is the earth opening her mouth and swallowing up the flood, which is the lies? This is what it's talking about. The Bible. This is what swallows up every lie. The Spirit of Christ is in this book, the Bible. Y'all understand that? So whatever they bring up, no matter whatever the topic is, the Bible is the answer. The Bible swallows up every lie. That's how the earth is helping us. Go ahead.
Verse 17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman.
Now it says, and the dragon is the same serpent we just read about. Go ahead.
And went to make war with the remnant of her seed.
And went to make war. Notice that word, brothers and sisters. Went to make war with the remnant of her seed. Go ahead.
Which keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ.
And have the testimony of Jesus Christ. So understand what's happening. There's going to, just like during the time of Daniel, there was a war against those that kept the commandments. During the time of Maccabees, there was a war against those that kept the commandments. In the time of Spain in history, there was a war against those that kept the commandments. Now we hear in good old America, the United States of America, they shall make war against those that keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus. I hope y'all understand that. From there, give me Matthew 24:21.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved.
Y'all see that? So now look at this. Go to 2 Ezra 2:13.
Second Ezra, chapter 2 and verse 13. Go, and ye shall receive. Pray for few days unto you, that they may be shortened. The kingdom is already prepared for you.
Do you see that? The kingdom is already prepared for you. He said, pray that the days be shortened. That's the same thing Christ. Go back to Matthew 24.
Matthew chapter 24, verse 21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be.
Here it comes.
And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened.
Notice Christ is constantly warning us, warning us, warning us. Go to Revelation 7 and 9. We read this earlier, but I just want to read down now.
Revelation chapter 7 and verse 9. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands.
Now, we already read earlier at the beginning of the lesson, these are Israelites that came out of all nations, kindreds, and tongues. Now, not only that, give me, where's it at? 2nd Ezra chapter 2, I think it's verse 16. Let me hear it.
2nd Ezra chapter 2 and verse 16. And those that be dead will I raise up again from their places and bring them out of their graves.
That's what I wanted. Was that the whole verse?
No, sir. For I have known my name in Israel.
So now, when we read Revelation 7 and 9, included in this great multitude is what we just read. Those that are raised from the dead is included in this. Now watch, 1 Thessalonians 4:16.
First Thessalonians chapter 4 verse 16. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of God, and the dead in Christ shall rise first.
Saying the same thing. The Lord promised he's going to raise the dead first. Good?
Then we which are alive
and those spirits, those brothers and sisters that are still alive at that time, go ahead,
and remain, shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. And so shall we ever be with the Lord. Wherefore comfort one another with these words.
So now I wanted to read that to show you that in Revelation 7 and 9, included in this great multitude are those that are raised from the dead. So back to Revelation 7. Now we're in verse 10, please.
Verse 10. And cried with a loud voice, saying, Salvation to our God which sitteth upon the throne and unto the Lamb. And all the angels stood round about the throne and about the elders and the four beasts, and fell before the throne on their faces and worshiped God, saying, Amen. Blessing and glory and wisdom and thanksgiving and honor and power and might be unto our God forever and ever. Amen. And one of the elders answered, saying unto me, What are these which are arrayed in white robes? And whence came they?
So he wants to know about this great multitude in verse 9. Go ahead.
And I said unto him, Sir, thou knowest. And he said to me, These are they which came out of great tribulation, and have washed their robes, and made them white.
You know what I laugh about this? Because I hear Christians argue about, no, the church is not going to go through tribulation. There's a pre-trib rapture, and there's a mid-trib rapture. And I'm just laughing. These people are stupid as hell. The Israelites is who is making reference to number one. Number two, we are going to go through tribulation. Everybody understand that? It ain't no easy way out of this unless you die. If we die before that, thank the Lord. You better thank the Lord. Because when this thing happened right here, we going to catch hell. Those that are alive. Go ahead.
Verse 15. Therefore are they before the throne of God and serve him day and night in his temple.
Now, watch this. Watch this. Give me Deuteronomy 4:27. Here's the prophecy Moses said about Israel going through tribulation. There's no easy way out of this. That's why when the woman came to Christ and said, Can you take my son James and John and sit one on the right hand, one on the left? Christ said, That's not mine to give, but of the Father only. He said, But can you drink of the cup that I shall drink? Both of them said, We can. He was talking about his crucifixion, his tribulation, their cruelty of death. Christ said, You shall surely drink. He knew it because they caught hell. Remember, James was killed first in Acts 12. Okay, read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 27. And the Lord shall scatter you among the nations, and ye shall be left few in number among the heathen.
Because they was killing a lot of us. Go ahead.
Whither the Lord shall lead you. And there ye shall serve gods, the work of men's hands, wood and stone, which neither see, nor hear, nor eat, nor smell.
Read.
But if from thence thou shalt seek the Lord thy God.
So he said, but if from thence you shall seek the Lord your God. That's what we're doing right now. Go ahead.
Thou shalt find him. If thou seek him with all thy heart and with all thy soul.
Right.
When thou art in tribulation.
You see what it says? When you are in tribulation. There's no way around it, brothers and sisters. We going. Go ahead.
And all these things are come upon thee, even in the latter days.
Even when?
In the latter days.
So Moses prophesied we would go through tribulation in the latter days. So what are these churches talking about? The churches don't know the Bible. And when we try to blitz them, I mean, we wanted to sit down with them and talk with them and show them and share what we see in the scriptures. No, y'all a hate group. Y'all, no, y'all evil. Bro, are you kidding me? They believe everything that comes out of the mouth of the dragon. And the mouth of the dragon, believe it or not, is this white man's media. You're the evil black Hebrew Israelites. No, we don't want to hear what you got to say. Y'all got to be kidding me. Did you finish that, Solomon?
No, sir.
Go ahead.
If thou turn to the Lord thy God and shalt be obedient unto his voice.
That's what we're doing right now. Did you finish?
Yes, sir.
Going back to Revelation. And read 14 again.
Revelation chapter 7 and verse 14. And I said unto him, Sir, thou knowest. And he said to me, These are they which came out of great tribulation, and have washed their robes, and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. Therefore are they before the throne of God, and serve him day and night in his temple. And he that sitteth on the throne shall dwell among them.
From there, give me 2 Ezra 16, please. 2 Ezra 16 and 40. The prophet Ezra, he was heavy. I told you, he gave some very insightful things that the book of Revelation alludes to, but Ezra goes in detail.
2 Ezra chapter 16 and verse 40. O my people, hear my word. Make you ready to the battle.
See that? Make you ready to the... Remember what we read in Revelation 12. Get it, Solomon. Hold that. We're coming right back. It said we just read make you ready to the battle, right? Now look at Revelation 12. I think it was the last verse.
Yes, sir. Verse 17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war.
What's that word?
War.
What's that word?
War.
Going back now to 2 Ezra 16:40.
Verse 40. O my people, hear my word. Make you ready to the battle.
This is war, brothers, sisters. This is war. We ain't seen... The Lord is giving us time right now to build our spirits up. Because right now, if war hit out today, half y'all run back into the Christian church because you ain't ready. No, I don't know. I never liked them black Hebrew Israelites anyway. You know that side of the room.
Yeah, Bishop. You know what? You know how detailed this thing is. You remember when COVID happened, right? The churches didn't have no answer, right? You remember when the COVID happened? The churches didn't have no answer,
Yes.
right? But to showing you, they ain't gonna be ready. When the time of this tribulation, the pastor is not preparing none of you for this time. But we're gonna be ready.
Exactly. And remember, I did want to say this about, it just popped in my head. If I offend anybody, I apologize. But when we went to Damona, Israel, was you with us in Damona, Israel? We went to Damona, Israel, and we tried to share with the brothers what we saw in the scriptures. They don't believe in Christ as Messiah. They believe in, what was his name? Ben-Ami, who passed away, Ben-Ami, as the Messiah. Now, after we left, I ain't going to go into much detail, but after we left, in recent times, remember, Israel is, not the word exporting, that's not the right word. What's the word when they're kicking you out of a country? Deporting, thank you. Deporting a lot of them. Now, it's not that they did anything, and believe me, it's not what they said in the paper that they were undocumented. No. Some of them started to believe, and they started saying, we've been watching y'all videos. Israel knows war is coming against the real children of Israel. They said, get them young ones out. They said this group, why? They're not worried about our people over there, the Ethiopians, you got the Lemba, some of them over there, the Ethiopians over there, some of them. They're not worried too much about them yet. They know that the ones that came from America, the prophecies talk about Judah shall rise up who? First. They said that group right there, get them out. But they don't see it spiritually. They didn't want to understand what we tried to share with them. It's all right. Lord knows. Go back to 2 Ezra 16, please. What verse you in?
Verse 40 still. O my people, hear my word. Make you ready to the battle. And then those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth.
Be even as pilgrims upon the earth. Go ahead.
He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away. And he that buyeth as one that will lose.
So it's letting you know the frame of mind to be in these last days. Because why? When this war pop off, he that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away. And he that buyeth, you just bought something, as one that will lose. Go ahead.
He that occupieth merchandise.
Like a home, a house. Go ahead.
As he that hath no profit by it.
Go ahead.
And he that buildeth, as he that shall not dwell therein.
Read.
He that soweth, as if he should not reap. So also he that...
Because you planting fields. Some of our people's planting fields and vineyards and all that. Go ahead.
So also he that planteth the vineyard, as he that shall not gather the grapes. They that marry, as they that shall get no children. And they that marry not, as the widowers.
Come on.
And therefore...
No, hold on. Let me ask a question, Bishop. Yeah, by us reading this, what's going on? What the Lord trying to show us, brothers? Remember, we just read the whole thing, right? What you think the Lord trying to share with us? That mindset. We're going to have that mindset. You see me, all these things he just read? If you married, then he said, if you got wealth, like you lost, like you invest some money on this battle, but guess what? Time come where they're going to come for you. You said, damn, there was a loss. The house. You said, buy a nice house. Now you count it as a loss. That's that mindset we're going to have, family.
Hey, that's why Christ said about what? Remember who? Lot's wife. That side of the room. Oh, I just got to my house or something. That's how Lot. Remember, Lot was what? Wealthy. He wasn't broke. So she had wealth. She had homes, houses, property, vineyards. She looked back. She turned to a pillar of salt. Christ said, watch her. Just watch her. Read on where we at, Solomon.
Verse 45. And therefore they that labor, labor in vain. For strangers shall reap their fruits.
Y'all see that? Strangers shall reap their fruits.
And spoil their goods.
And spoil their goods.
Overthrow their houses.
Overthrow their houses.
And take their children captives.
Prison. Go ahead.
For in captivity and famine shall they get children.
Read.
And they that occupy their merchandise with robbery.
Didn't we just read that in Hebrews 10:34? Y'all don't remember. Give me that. Hold your finger right there. Y'all don't remember.
Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 34. For ye had compassion of me in my bonds, and took joyfully the spoiling of your goods.
Y'all see that? Took joyfully. Now, thinking, like, who would be joyful about that? But they were joyful because they knew the end was near. How much more so now in these last days? It's even nearer now. Going back, Solomon. What verse was that?
Verse 47.
Read.
And they that occupy their merchandise with robbery, the more they deck their cities, their houses, their possessions, and their own persons.
What mean, and their own persons? What was they doing with the clothes they found? Wearing it. Go ahead.
The more will I be angry with them for their sin, saith the Lord.
From there, stay in the same chapter, jump to verse 70.
Verse 70. For there shall be in every place, and in the next cities, a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord.
That's what we read in Revelation. Revelation 12:17, about the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed that keep the commandments and have the testimony of Jesus. Esdras is going in detail now. John didn't go into much detail. That's why you need the Old Testament with the New. Read again.
For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord.
Come on, that's heavy.
For they shall waste and take away their goods, and cast them out of their houses.
Wow.
Then shall they be known, who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire.
So notice that. That's the only way you're going to know that you're called and chosen. If you can endure through this, that's when you're going to know that you've been chosen. Now watch this, we coming right back here though. Go to Matthew 24. Well, I'm going to show you Christ said the same thing. Matthew 24. I went over this on Shout Out Tuesday. I shouldn't even go over it, but it's okay. Repetition is good. Matthew 24. Let me look at it. I think I want verse 9. Let me look before you start reading. Yes, start at verse 9.
Matthew chapter 24 and verse 9. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted and shall kill you.
So what Christ is prophesying here is what John alluded to in Revelation 12:17, is what Esdras went in a little more detail for. Christ also gives detail right here. Read again. The only problem is when we read Matthew 24:9 down, people assume that happened already in the past. But not only did it happen in the past during the time of the apostles, it's going to happen again in these last days. Read. And I'm going to show you that as we read down. Go ahead.
Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted and shall kill you. And ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended and shall betray one another and shall hate one another.
So those brothers and sisters right there that get offended. I'm gonna give you the precept. Give me that precept in Mark 4. You know what I want? Mark 4. What verse is it? The one that's persecuted for the word's sake. What verse is it? Verse 17. Thank you.
The book of Mark, chapter 4, verse 17. And have no root in themselves.
Wait. Start at 16.
Verse 16. And these are they likewise which are sown on stony ground, who, when they have heard the word, immediately receive it with gladness.
That's some of y'all listening right now. You receive this word with gladness, but watch this.
And have no root in themselves.
You're not studying. You're not reading your 4 chapters a day. You're not applying what you're reading. Go ahead.
And so endure but for a time.
You only endure but for a time. Come on.
Afterward, when affliction
Watch this. Afterward, when affliction
or persecution
ariseth
for the word's sake.
For what sake?
The word's sake.
You're being challenged and persecuted for what the Bible says. Go ahead.
Immediately they are offended.
Immediately some of you get offended. Now go back to Matthew 24. What do they do once they're offended?
Hold on, Bishop. Read that again.
And have no root in themselves.
No, before that.
Verse 16, and these are they likewise which are sown on stony ground, who, when they have heard the word, immediately receive it with gladness.
Yeah, some of you are here. I mean, you're here. You don't think nothing going to go down. Go ahead.
And have no root in themselves.
Because you never build yourself to anything. You never set your mind up for the thing that is coming here. Go ahead.
And so endure but for a time.
You see, you endure here for a time. You sit in here. I mean, feast after feast, new moon after new moon, you never build anything. Go ahead.
Afterward, when affliction
you see that? Afterwards, then these things that we read about to take place now. Then they're looking for the brother. Where Brother Paul at? No, he didn't show up today for some reason. Where's sister at? She didn't show up. Go ahead.
Afterward, when affliction or persecution ariseth for the word's sake, immediately they are offended.
Because you never prepare yourself. Go ahead.
Now here's the precept. Matthew 24 again, verse 10 now.
Matthew,
what do you do once you're offended? Go ahead.
Matthew 24 and verse 10. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another.
Y'all see that? That's when the betrayal comes. That's when the hate comes. Guess what? Ezra said the same thing. We're coming right back here, Solomon. Go to 2nd Ezra. We was in chapter 16. I think I want verse 68, where it talks about they were idle time and idols. That one.
Yes, sir.
You know what I want?
Yes, sir. Verse 68. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you.
They shall take away certain of you.
And feed you.
Feed you.
Being idle.
You've been idle. You've been idle. You haven't been studying. You haven't been applying His truth to your life. Go ahead.
with things offered unto idols.
Ah, with things offered unto idols. Didn't Paul force people to blaspheme the Lord? He did that thing. That happened during the time of Rome and all that. The time of the Greeks with the Maccabees. Read it again. Read it again. It's going to happen again. Watch this.
For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle.
Because a lot of you spend your time on TikTok. But some of the TikTok. They wake up, they're on their phone, TikTok. They're on Facebook. They're all over the place. They got idle time. You know how much work it is to do in this truth? The Bible says Israel numbers what? Sand of the sea. There's a lot of work to be done, but nope. I want to look at TikTok videos. I study. No, I don't want to do that. Go ahead. Being idle.
Being idle with things offered unto idols.
They're going to make you do what they want you to do. Go ahead.
And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot.
Meaning you still going to get put to death. But you're going to get put to death after you do what they want and they force you to worship idols. That's what happened during the time. Once they blasphemed, you think they let them go? No, they killed them. It's going to happen again in these last days. Going back now, where was we at, Solomon? Was it Matthew 24? You know I forgot.
Yes, sir.
Matthew 24.
Verse 11, we finished.
Read 10.
Verse 10. And then shall many be offended and shall betray one another and shall hate one another.
That's what we just read. You had idle time. They said, get this one. This video, you don't think, I'm going to show y'all something. Remember when they marched on the Edomites? We will not be replaced. What was their names? The Tiki Torch. They was walking around. You know what it's about? Was it Virginia or South Carolina? Y'all know what it's about? South Carolina, right? They was all them Edomites saying that the Jews will not replace us. Y'all know what I'm talking about? They took pictures of every one of them. Then what they do? They went to their jobs to get them fired and things like that. Okay. Y'all don't think they got snapshots of everybody? You better believe it. Sisters, don't think you are absolved because you are female. They got your pictures too. Okay. I can remember back. Yeah, put it on the screen, man. Come on the screen. Come on, y'all. Got me out here sounding crazy. We're finally on point. Thank y'all. That's it right there. The Jews will not replace us. They got pictures of all of them. Tried to get them fired. But listen, my point of saying that is they have pictures of all the Israelites. Even you Israelites that stay home because you're afraid, but you do videos, they got your picture too. They got your address, who lives in the house and all that. Okay, believe me.
Meaning, brother, you're not going to be saved.
Exactly.
You can hide underneath the bed all you want. You ain't going to be saved, my brother.
Right. That's Charlottesville, Virginia. Are you sure y'all was up? I thought it was South Carolina. Well, y'all was upset at Charlottesville. I don't remember. I know it was a couple of years back. Okay. Even January 6th, when they had the insurrection, they took pictures of everybody. Okay. When we do our marches, and there's times when the media was out there, it looked like they was filming, but they never aired nothing. Oh, no, they was getting pictures of everybody. Who's this? Who's that? Naming them. And whoever they don't know, when we go back to 2nd Ezra, read it again. I'm going to show you something. 2nd Ezra.
Verse 68.
No, you know what I want? Watch this one. Matthew 24:10. I want that one again.
Matthew chapter 24 and verse 10. And then shall many be offended and shall betray one another and shall hate one another.
The names that they don't got. To those sisters, I'm saying their name first for a reason. To those sisters and the brothers that have been weak-natured, weak-spirited, they're going to break you and make you give up the names of everybody whose names they don't have. I know how the system works. I'm just telling you, that's what they're going to do. Okay? I'm laughing for a reason. Going back, where we at, Solomon? You know, I went all over the place. Where we at?
You want 2nd Ezra 16 again?
Why we went there?
We read down to 73.
Oh, yeah. Okay, going back there.
We was at 74.
No. Go back to Matthew 24. We're going to go back. Just remind me, 2nd Ezra. Go back to Matthew 24 and 10 again.
Verse 10. And then shall many be offended and shall betray one another and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many.
Now you might ask, how does that fit in? We just saw a video on it earlier about that one world religion. Islam, Christianity, Judaism. many false prophets shall arise. What are they going to be pushing? What we just saw, this religion of world peace. And whoever don't obey and worship that shall be what? Yes, killed. Yes, right. Read again, verse 11.
And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many.
Mm-hmm.
And because iniquity shall abound.
This is how we know the time period. It says, and because iniquity shall abound, meaning sin's going to rise up like you've never seen before. We're seeing it now. Everybody, you got to say my pronoun. What's my pronoun? Don't call me, what's that big white? It's ma'am. You're going to call me ma'am. The hell is this? If you don't use my pronoun, I'm getting you arrested. You know, people lose their jobs for not using these damn pronouns.
Yeah, but now you see it in a lower scale. That thing gonna take a few years. It's gonna get to a higher level. You're not gonna believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh damn! Out of 4 guys, 1 straight, 3's a home. Oh, dang!
Exactly.
Bishop, I was watching a video too, right? They were dissecting the Drink Champs video with Kanye West, and they were saying,
"Yay,
excuse me, yay." They were saying that they couldn't get him on the hate speech on the Jews. What they got him was when he said something about George Floyd. And they got all the black people to get mad at that, and that's how they got on him.
That's what they do. Get the
social
dumb,
engineering.
Yeah, exactly. Get the dumb black people. They'll get them first. So where we at? Read again. Verse 12.
And because iniquity shall abound.
Yeah, iniquity is abounding. Kids can get a sex change without telling their parents. What the hell is going on here? Girls get abortions without telling their parents. All kind of evils going on here.
Yeah, Bishop, you forgot a 5-year-old can tell their parents that I don't know which one I am. I might be a boy, I might be a girl, but he was born a boy.
Exactly.
I might be a girl.
Exactly. Hey, put that on the screen. This is iniquity shall abound about not using proper pronouns. The hell is this?
It is ma'am.
I can call the police if you'd like me to. You need to settle down.
You need to settle down and mind your business, okay? Ma'am, once again, ma'am.
I said both of you.
No, you said sir. Once again, it's ma'am.
You can't make this stuff up.
Excuse me, it's ma'am. It is ma'am. You need to settle down and mind your business, okay? Ma'am, once again, ma'am.
I said both of you.
No, you said sir. Once again, it's ma'am.
I actually said both of you guys. It was just general.
Right beforehand, you said sir.
Sir? Okay.
Take it outside. If you want to call me sir again, I will show you a sir.
I apologize.
They get violent.
I need your corporate number.
They are very violent.
We're going to call them and talk about how it's misgendered several times in the store. I need your corporate number now. Get it for me now.
They will get you fired.
Give me your corporate number. Well, I'm going to ask you for the 5th time to stop calling me a man, because quite clearly I am not.
I'm sorry for that, ma'am. I'll get you that number. Is that okay?
Yes, get it for
There's
me
some
now.
heavy witchcraft
Get
there.
it for me now. I'm not cussing. I'm not cussing.
You can't make this stuff up.
Ooh!
Ma'am, I apologize.
Ooh!
I apologize. I will get you that number right now.
No, you're just going to keep bumping your gums. You're just going to keep bumping your gums and disrespecting trans people in this store, which I plan on telling the entire LGBT community. You're going to lose money over this.
Well, alrighty then. All right. So let's read that again. Officer Solomon, verse 12. I'm sorry.
Matthew chapter 24 and verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold.
See that? And because iniquity shall abound. Now you might ask yourself, well, I'm kind of confused about that verse. And because iniquity shall abound. We read earlier, Solomon, please get it. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 10. Here's a precept to help you get your thoughts cleared.
2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 10. And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness.
And with all deceit of sin, go ahead.
In them that perish. because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved.
Read.
And for this cause God shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned, who believed not the truth.
Here it comes.
But had pleasure in unrighteousness.
But had pleasure in sin. So when we go back to Matthew 24, Christ is saying the same thing, just different words. Verse 12.
And because iniquity shall abound.
Because sin shall abound, sin shall rise like we've never seen before. Go ahead.
The love of many shall wax cold.
The love of many shall wax cold. Here's another precept for you. 2 Ezra 5, verse 2.
2 Ezra chapter 5 and verse 2. But iniquity shall be increased above that which now thou seest.
Y'all see that? See, the angel was warning Ezra. Read it again. Read it again.
But iniquity shall be increased above that which now thou seest, or that thou hast heard long ago.
He said it's going to be worse than what you heard long ago. You know what that means? We read about Sodom and Gomorrah. The angel's saying, oh, you ain't seen no Sodom and Gomorrah yet. You wait till you see what happens in America, Babylon the Great. You're going to see some Sodom and Gomorrah like you've never seen it. Now, they might have acted like they was women. Now they cutting their rods and their testes off. Women is cutting their breastises off. The hell is going on here? That's what the angel was saying. I'm going to say, Lava?
You know, when they say the love of many shall wax old, think about it. They will push that thing in your children even though you don't accept it. What about the love of your neighbor? Well, what's going on with that?
Right. Who's that? Yeah, put that on the screen. Is this Dwayne Wade's son? Put that on the screen, please. Oh, my God. And you know what's weird about this? This is a boy, male boy. This is a boy who wants to be a woman. He's dating an Edomite girl who wants to be a man. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Hey, give me who's that dude? The basketball player got a son. Give me Magic Johnson's son.
Bishop.
Yes.
Their genitals are like Legos.
Their
That's all it
genitals
is.
are like Legos.
Yeah, they want to switch.
God. The hell is this? Find me Magic Johnson's son. I'm sorry. Give me the one, not that one. I want the one where he's standing. I want to see full. Yeah, you see his height. I don't need Magic Johnson in the picture. I don't need him. Oh, yeah, there you go. Oh, God, there you go.
Look at all that taco meat on his freaking chest.
Yeah, he shaved his chest hairs. You can see on the chest there was hair there.
It's taco meat.
What the hell is going on here? Yeah, put that one on the screen. Put that one on the screen.
What these bitches want for my nigga?
Yeah. Your guys looking at that right now. You're laughing. They're gonna be your uncle.
Damn.
Gonna be like that.
Damn.
Your auntie gonna be like that. You understand? Your little niece gonna be like that.
Now, if anybody is turned on in here, we're gonna pray for you. Just come up on after class. We're gonna pray for you.
Nobody want any of that cake, bro.
We don't want none of your cake. The hell is this? Cake in the bathroom. All right, Solomon, where we at? We in I want verse 12 again.
Yes, sir. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold.
That's what we read in Thessalonians. That's what it's saying. Go ahead.
But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved.
Endure what? Let me see. Somebody raise your hand. Endure what? You right here in the green shirt. Endure what?
Go to the mic.
Come up. There's a mic right here. He over there whispering.
Tribulations.
What are you talking about?
Endure tribulations to the end.
What does that mean? What do you mean tribulations? I'm not saying your answer's wrong, but I want to know that I want to have confidence that you know what you're talking about. It's about they cut off your internet? Is that what you're talking about?
No.
What are you talking about?
Persecution for serving the laws of the laws.
Okay, I'm gonna let you slide with that one. Okay. Who else? Go ahead, come on up.
Shalom, leadership.
Shalom, shalom.
I would say temptation.
You would say what?
Temptation.
Temptation. Okay. Anybody else? Okay, have a seat. Anybody else got anything? Let me help y'all out here. Y'all just forgot. Now, although I went to various precepts, y'all, Solomon, I want you to read fast. I want you to read from verse 9 to 13. Y'all just missed the whole thing Christ said. Read it. Read it quickly.
Verse 9, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved.
Now I'm going to try again. Endure what? Somebody come on up. It's not hard. Nope, you got a purple shirt. I want somebody else. You. Yep. Yeah. No, not you. Afro. Yeah. No, it's not because he's Northern Kingdom. I was pointing at him. You.
Shalom, leadership.
Shalom.
Is it because they're going to deliver us to be killed? Many are going to betray one another because they're going to be offended. And they're going to... Yeah, that's what I got from that.
That's what you got. Yeah. All right, now let me hear Northern Kingdom. Now, I hear him now. Let's see what he got. Now, the brother, I ain't saying he was wrong. I didn't say wrong, so don't go back there with your feelings hurt. I didn't say wrong.
Shalom, leadership. It's,
Shalom.
For enduring in the belief in Jesus Christ and the way, once we start to follow his laws and his beliefs, at that point in time we will be tried. And if you're not strong in the beliefs of Christ, those that are weak will fall away, and those that stay strong will be persecuted.
Okay, you're not wrong either. Let me hear you. All your answers were right. Nobody's wrong so far, except Lava. He is always wrong.
Shalom, leadership.
Shalom.
To endure the temptations of them taking away our belongings, like everything that we read today about like our houses, to have that mindset that Deacon Lava brought out, that the stuff that we have is going to be taken away. So we got to count that as a loss right away.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to endure those type of hardness. That's what
You sound like Michael. You sound just... Don't it sound like Michael?
Yeah, that's his cousin. That's my
his
cousin.
That's he's related to
No,
you?
I'm just messing with you.
Well, you're right. All of y'all were right. Correct. Very good. I just want to make sure that y'all are paying attention. So read that again, Officer Solomon.
Starting from 9?
No. 12 and 13.
Verse 12, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold.
Mm-hmm.
But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved.
Now you might ask the question, how do we know it didn't end for back then? Watch the next verse.
And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come.
So we got to go through all of this that we just read. And then we got to testify, prophesy, like it says in Jeremiah 28 and 8, about evils, pestilence, and war. The things that's going, we prophesy what's going to happen to us before it happens. It says, and then shall the end come. Y'all see that? Then shall the end come. Lava, what you got?
It just it's the same thing happened in 2018. As we prophesied, there's going to be men ways up among us. Some of you have been out of ship when this thing happened. Now we prophesied how we're going to be taken out of here. You understand? So when you see brothers start taking out, don't let your faith be weak. That's what the Lord trying to let you know. Strengthen yourself now. When you start seeing these things happening, because we already prophesied of it. It's going to happen, brothers. It's going to happen, sisters.
Exactly. And for example, y'all saw Breakfast Club with, what's the boy's, the Edomite's name? Greenblatt. What kind of show is the Breakfast Club? To what audience does it cater to? Black and Hispanic, right? It's hip-hop, right? What the hell does Jonathan Greenblatt got to do with that? Nothing at all. He was like a fish out of water. But nobody paid attention to this. Why is he on this show? He has nothing to do with it. Talking about the ADL. Nobody give a damn. Go back to 2 Ezra 16, please. And we were in verse...
We finished 73 and went up to 68.
Well, we're going to read it again. Start at 70 again.
Verse 70. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods, and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire.
Now, y'all see that, right? They shall be tried as gold in the fire. We're coming right back here, Solomon. Give me that precept in Sirach 2 and 5, because we always read that.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 2 and verse 5. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity.
That's what he's talking about. Go ahead, read on.
Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in him. Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside.
Why does it say wait for his mercy? In the context of what we read in Esdras, we're going to see brothers and sisters put to death, brothers and sisters in prison. It tells the rest, wait for his mercy. Because it's going to look like the Lord ain't with us. Lord, why are you letting this happen? He said, I already told you, some of y'all going to die. We're going to think it's going to seem like he forsook us, but that's not the case. Read it again, Solomon.
Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy.
Wait for his mercy. Go ahead.
And go not aside.
Don't leave this truth.
Lest ye fall.
Lest you fall.
Let me, in this time, you're going to, different conditions. You're going to be put to different conditions. Like Bishop just said, jail. You might just, where they just come snatch you up at the house. Nobody know where you at. You understand? There are going to be different events happening at that time. So the Lord said to you, when you see you going through that, pray for the mercy. And then they say, the brothers outside will see that, wait for the Lord mercy. Then even though those who going through that, wait for the Lord mercy.
Hey, where's the part in there? Because I'm not looking at it. It's a part in there somewhere around them verses where it says, when you're changed to a lower state.
Verse 4.
Read verse 4 for me.
Verse 4. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully.
Mm-hmm. So when we read that, we say, oh, I just lost my job. That's what we normally say. Or my wife left me. Or my husband left me. That's what we generally say. But if you take, which I'm not saying that's wrong, but now there's levels to this thing. What we're reading in Esdras, because it uses the word, it says, what does it say? They shall be tried as gold in the fire. This is talking about persecution. So read that again, Solomon.
Whatsoever is brought upon thee.
That includes persecution. Hands on you. Go ahead.
Take cheerfully.
Take cheerfully. Go ahead.
And be patient.
And be patient.
When thou art changed to a low estate.
They took your house. They took your property. They took the clothes in your house. Didn't we just read that? We just read that earlier. Be patient when you're changed to a low estate. We use that and go, oh, I lost my job last week. It's a little bit, yeah, that's fine. But it goes more than that, deeper than that. Everybody understand what I'm saying? Okay, let's go on back, Solomon.
You know, Bishop, they want to train in their mind. Is it like you losing your job? It's going to be harder than that. You can train in your mind, take it very slow, but the Lord says it's going to be harder than that. So you got to go to the screen very high to see what they're going to do to you, so you can accept whatever state.
Exactly. Hey, I just thought of something. What time is it? Okay, I ain't going to be too long. Revelation 2, 9 and 10.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 2 and verse 9.
Pay very close attention.
I know.
Now, yes, I'm going to set it up. This happened to the Israelites that lived in Smyrna, which is in Asia Minor. But what I'm showing you, that what happened back then is going to happen again, based on Matthew 24 that we just read, and 2 Ezra 16, and Revelation 12:17. Watch this.
I know thy works, and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich.
Why are we rich? Because all the promises in the Bible pertain to the Israelites. Good.
And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan.
That's the Israelis. That's the so-called Jewish people. Go ahead.
Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer.
Now, this is the part I want y'all to see. Go ahead.
Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison.
Now, who's the devil? Go back to the bottom of verse 9.
But are the synagogue
No, and I know.
And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan.
Now, behold, in verse 10.
Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison.
It's the same people, the same race of people. These are the ones making legislation, making new laws. Understand what's going to happen, brothers and sisters. Go ahead.
That ye may be tried.
That you may be tried. Go ahead.
And ye shall have tribulation 10 days.
Go ahead.
Be thou faithful unto death.
What? Be thou what?
Faithful unto death.
So Christ, he ain't lie. He's telling those Israelites, be faithful unto death. Death is not what we think. You think it's the end all. It ain't the end all. Close your eyes here. You open them there. Okay, understand that. We got to meditate on that to prepare our souls, prepare our hearts, our minds to get ready for that. Go ahead.
And I will give thee a crown of life.
He said, if you endure that, I will give you a crown of life. Go ahead.
He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. He that overcometh shall not be hurt of the second death.
The second death is the final judgment you read about in Revelation. Is it 20 or 21? When everybody comes before the Lord and he judges everybody. So you ain't got to worry about that judgment. Now, Solomon, where are we at? We were in second Ezra, right? We're almost done.
We finished 73.
Okay, started in 74. Hit me there.
Verse 74. Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand. But I will deliver you from the same. Be ye not afraid, neither doubt.
You see that? I will deliver you from the same. Wait. Let me look at it. Where you at, Solomon?
Verse 74.
All right, bear with me. Verse 74 again, one more time.
Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand. But I will deliver you from the same.
I'm going to give you a precept. Write this down. Solomon, get it. Jeremiah 30, verse 7.
Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble.
Jacob's trouble. Notice that word trouble. Go ahead. Let's talk about tribulation. Go ahead.
But he shall be saved out of it.
Out of it. Let's go back to 2 Ezra 16. I want 74 again so y'all can see the wording.
Verse 74. Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand.
That's Jacob's trouble. Go ahead.
But I will deliver you from the same.
Now you might ask yourself, but wait a minute, it already said that some of us going to die. Yes, that's true. But didn't we read earlier in 2 Ezra 2:16? Who remembers what it said? Anybody remember what it said? In the back. You. Yep, you. Yeah, you know I'm pointing right at you. Yep. Go ahead. Yes, you. Yes, come on. You don't remember? Solomon, help him. What did it say?
2 Ezra chapter 2, verse 16. And those that be dead will I raise up again from their places and bring them out of their graves. For I have known my name in Israel.
Y'all see that? So Solomon, once again, right back to 2 Ezra 16. Read that verse again, 74.
Verse 74. Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same.
How's he going to deliver? Some of us going to die. Yes, but he's going to raise you up first. Read.
Be ye not afraid.
Don't be afraid. In order not to be afraid, you must study. You must pray. You must apply. That's the only way you're not going to be afraid. And afraid, of course, is natural to fear. But the afraid is talking about is what? I'm leaving this truth. Where's T.D. Jakes at? I'm going to join him. That's what it's talking about. Where's Farrakhan? I'm going to go join him. That's what it's talking about. Be not afraid. Go ahead.
Be ye not afraid, neither doubt.
Don't doubt.
For God is your God.
Why does it say don't doubt? Because like we said earlier, when you see brothers and sisters arrested, brothers and sisters put to death, Satan goes, oh no, God ain't with y'all. You better leave that Israelite crap. That's when your mind start playing tricks on you. Dun, 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 dun. You know that song, right? Anyway, you don't know that. Anyway, where we at, Solomon? Come on.
Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for God is your guide, and the guide of them who keep my commandments and precepts, saith the Lord God. Let not your sins weigh you down.
Now we all sin, but it says, let not your sins weigh you down, meaning you got to the point where you're just overwhelmed with sin. It says, don't let your sins weigh you down. Because, sometimes when you repent, Satan comes in your head. you ain't worthy, this is wrong with you, blah, blah, blah. And you start to let those sins overwhelm you. The Bible says don't let your sins weigh you down. Go ahead.
Let not your sins weigh you down, and let not your iniquities lift up themselves.
And in the same token, don't let your sin, well, the Lord forgive me, I'm going to keep sinning over and over. One week of sin turns into 2 weeks, turns into a month, turns into a year, and 2 years. It says, don't, and let not your iniquities lift up themselves. And he's going to explain why. Go ahead.
Woe be unto them that are bound with their sins and covered with their iniquities.
Right. That's when you sin upon sin. There's no scripture that can help you. You're just bound in your sin. Like Paul explained. The same thing is explained in Romans 6. Go ahead.
Like as a field is covered over with bushes, and the path thereof covered with thorns, that no man may travel through. It is left undressed, and is cast into the fire to be consumed therewith.
That's what happens when you let your iniquities lift up themselves, when you just keep doing it over and over. And because we don't see you with our fleshly eyes, only the Lord sees you, you think you escaped. No, the Lord said, no, I see you. I see you. Give me Revelation 20 and 4. We're almost done. We're almost done. Revelation 20 and 4. Almost done.
Revelation chapter 20 and verse 4. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Jesus.
Yeah, see that meaning killed, put to death. It's telling you the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Jesus. Christ said, if you are ashamed of me before men, I shall be ashamed of you. Understand? Everybody understand that? Okay, there's going to be levels in that thing right there. Go ahead.
And for the word of God, and which had not worshipped the beast.
And which had not worshipped the man. That's what it's talking about, this white man. Go ahead.
Neither his image.
Neither his image.
Neither had received his mark.
This lets you know it's about these last days. This ain't talking about so much during the time of Peter and Paul. This is talking about these latter days. Go ahead.
Neither had received his mark upon their forehead.
You didn't receive that sin in your mind. You didn't follow behind their policies. Go ahead.
Neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands.
You didn't support it. Go ahead.
And they lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years.
2 Ezra 2:42, and we out. 2 Ezra 2:42.
2 Ezra chapter 2 and verse 42.
We're going to read down.
I, Ezra, saw upon the Mount Zion a great people, whom I could not number.
Read.
And they all praised the Lord with songs. And in the midst of them, there was a young man of a high stature, taller than all the rest. And upon every one of their heads he set crowns, and was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly. So I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? He answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal.
Right. We were changed in the twinkling of an eye. Go ahead.
And have confessed the name of God. Now are they crowned and receive palms. Then said I unto the angel, What young person is it that crowneth them, and giveth them palms in their hands? So he answered and said unto me, It is the Son of God.
Oh, I have a message to the art department. Please, art department. The Bible says, what young person is this? It is the Son of God. Can y'all stop drawing Christ as a 90-year-old man?
Yeah, stop it, OC.
Just stop it, OC. Captain OC, can you stop it? Christ is what age was he when he died or assassinated? He was early 30s. Yeah, 33. So stop showing him like he's 96. I'm like, what the? And it said he's mad tall. Come on, y'all.
Yeah, OC, show some respect.
Show
bro,
some
for that
respect,
King
Captain
of
OC.
Kings, bro.
Read from 46 again.
Then said I unto the angel, What young person is that crowneth them and giveth them palms in their hands? So he answered and said unto me, It is the Son of God, whom they have confessed in the world. Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord.
So we got to stand stiffly for the name of the Lord. When it says the name of the Lord, it's talking about the Bible. Understand that. Because guess what? Because people, listen, there are brothers, no, I don't want to talk about them. I just prayed for brothers, so I'm going to be nice. I'll leave it alone. Read on.
Then the angel said unto me, Go thy way, and tell my people what manner of things and how great wonders of the Lord thy God thou hast seen.
So, brothers, sisters, 12 tribes.
Worldwide.
12 tribes.
Worldwide.
12 tribes.
Worldwide.
And with that, we say shalom.